Week number 9. Week number 9 buy lows. Who's going to help you make your playoffs? Who's going to help you create that little comeback campaign to not only make your playoffs, but win your league? These guys right on the screen right here are the best buy lows walking into week number 9 that you can find. There are some other players we may add to the list, guys I might mention but not put on the list, but these are the players I have handpicked, combed through my week 9 and beyond rankings, looking for hidden gems, some of which are already increasing in value. Yeah, you're not going to buy them dirt cheap. No one's saying JJ can be had for free. No one's saying that anybody's selling Davante Adams as cheap as they were 48 hours ago. But there are reasons to go get every single one of these players. Some teams more capable of getting some of these players in trade than others. Your situation matters. Your vantage point matters. What do you own? Do you own some of these players? Should you be selling high? We'll find out. The Fantasy Football Show week number 9. Buy low, must grab players edition begins right now.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios.
It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live!
Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com news desk, here is your breaking news.
Yeah, we do have some breaking news. Whenever that plays, you know there's something significant that we need to talk about. Something very significant that has hit news wires, that's hit social media, that's hit some form of mainstream media, and it's this right here. I'm gonna post the graphic right now on screen, and this is what we're gonna kick off our buy low edition with, this exact graphic right here, because it makes this guy one potential league winner. And it shocks a lot of people, I think, when they see something like this out of me. But Davante Adams is potentially one of the best buy medium. You can't even buy him low because people know there's changing going on in Las Vegas. But this quote from Davante Adams speaks volumes, and it's what I feel down deep is going on there inside this organization, inside this locker room with these players. And it trickles all the way down to Josh Jacobs, a guy I've been super off of walking into 2023, the offseason, even up to this point. Even 2 weeks ago, sell him. I'm not saying to necessarily go buy him, but I do believe every single facet of this offense is going to improve going forward. Davante Adams said this about his head coach, Antonio Pierce. He said, "I'm already ready to run through a wall for that man." And his demeanor, his vibe in the locker room, playful. Him and the players playing, they put up a little basketball hoop in the corner of the locker room, and they were playing and shooting, smiling, laughing. The camaraderie has returned immediately to the locker room. And whether this team wins or not, whether this team does what we hope it could do to the full capacity and capability of this team and the players and the fantasy production, I do believe that this production will be there from a fantasy perspective, at least to the tune of Adams' second round material, Jacobs' bottom, well, we'll call it third round material to be safe. He could produce third round material type running back numbers. O'Connell, amazing super flex quarterback play. From a dire, the position's been riddled with injuries type of perspective. I mean, O'Connell could come out and be top 15 quarterback material in this quarterback climate right now. So this is one of the very best buy low players, Davante Adams, walking into week 9 and beyond, which I know is going to be shocking to a lot of people. A player I hated his situation, absolutely hated. Jimmy Garoppolo throwing hospital passes, but as you've noticed throughout the season, your boys talked about O'Connell. If O'Connell gets in there, might save this thing. And if O'Connell got injected into the lineup under the command of McDaniels and the former GM, I probably would have had a lot more hesitancy to come out here and tell you, guess what? The script has been flipped. The tides have changed. I would have been more pessimistic because I would have said, guys, as much as I love O'Connell, as much as I think Davante could bounce back, this is a situation where I truly believe that McDaniels could ruin whatever potential uptick we're looking at. He could ruin it. He could decimate it. He could annihilate it. He could neutralize any sort of progress that could be made between O'Connell and getting the football to Adams. O'Connell throwing the football to Mayer. O'Connell getting room for Jacobs to then get better yards per carry and be more efficient. There's a lot in the way. A lot in the way. Even with O'Connell being injected into the lineup, but led by McDaniels. Guess what? This coach right here, granted, we don't know what he's going to do, how he's going to coach, how the players will react, but so far, I'm feeling we can only go up from here. And Davante Adams, capable of being a top 5 wide receiver, isn't that walking into this situation, but he certainly climbs into mid-second round equivalent territory via trade or draft. If you're drafting today, top 15 overall pick. Why not? Why not? That's great value. So if you can acquire him without paying first round value, if you can acquire him in some sort of 2-for-2 trade, if his owner's sleeping at the wheel and thinks that the firing of McDaniels, the GM, the chaos going on isn't actually a positive step in the right direction, you might be able to catch somebody sleeping at the wheel and steal him away in a 2-for-2 complicated lateral trade where you go laterally into another player, and then because of that you can upgrade your wide receiver into Davante Adams. You can take a player, let's say you trade away a Tony Pollard, and you get some sort of like Achane type of move. Now you got maneuverability on the second side, the other side of the 2-for-2 trade, with the wide receivers to go upgrade your wide receiver that might be popping off that you don't really necessarily believe in for this man right here, Davante Adams. That's my advice to you walking into week number 9. A lot of 2-for-2s. Sometimes the 1-for-2s, the 2-for-1s, they don't quite get it done when we're in the mix of weeks 9, 10, 11, 12. Sometimes people are looking for more than one player unless you're looking at a stacked team that's got a plethora of options and they got to package everything together and go ahead and get one player for your and give you multiple players. There are going to be teams that are 7 wins, 8 wins, 6 wins that are trying to unleash and unload some of their bench talent for one player. And that might be the case. But when you're trying to acquire Davante Adams, I think the 2-for-2s, the creative 2-for-2s, the creative 2-for-3s, the creative 3-for-2s are what are going to help you, I think, steal away value that you won't really steal away in a 1-for-1. No one really wants to trade a wide receiver for a wide receiver. And even a running back for a wide receiver, it's becoming increasingly harder to do that with the decimated running back environment. So you're dealing with a bunch of higher end running backs and then a big like gap of garbage. Almost when we say that you go through like a ghost town territory in a draft in the 3rd or 4th round. You remember when we talk about that every offseason? Okay, now we're here in the no-go zone, the running back drought zone. There tends to be, with injuries, a gap between running back 1s and almost running back 3s in flex plays. And so it's hard, increasingly hard, to go trade for an Adams using an RB, because you're either giving away an RB, you draft over Adams, and now you need something else, which can work, and those are your trading away one player, Jamar Chase, or Stephon Diggs for Adams and Achane. You trade away Chase or Diggs for Adams and Achane, you're headed probably to the moon if it's a move you need to survive on. If you're not winning, if you're not doing things you should be doing with Diggs or Jamar Chase, you should be looking for the creative. You trade away one for their 2 players, and Adams being one of them. That would send you to the moon. So let me write that one down. We'll put that one on screen. It's where's my right correct screen when I need it? There we go. Let's fix that. So in the case of trading away Diggs, who we don't want to trade. We don't want to trade him unless we have to. We move him for Adams. And then if we can get Achane so be it. If we can't get Achane, there are a plethora of players we could talk about. But let's just say you can't really do this straight up one for you get these two players. Then all of a sudden you got to give up an additional player. And that's when we throw in a player that is popping off that we don't necessarily believe in. Somebody we picked up. Maybe it's Hendy. Maybe it's somebody, especially if you can get rid of a player that has temporary value like Hendy because Kyron's coming back. Temporary value because you don't believe they're going to continue to play well. That's how you can kind of complete this trade when the person trading away these two players and getting your one isn't really satisfied in the deal. Make it a 2-for-2, one that you feel comfortable working with. Adams on the rise. Just straight up on the rise. And this is fantastic news. I'm going to put this right here. Kenneth Walker, go get him now. For some reason, he has a bad game, and everybody's running from Kenneth Walker. Nobody seems to want him right now. I don't understand it at all. I don't understand it one single bit. 400 of you, about 400 of you in here, please punch that thumb up button. We got 42 thumbs up. Those are rookie numbers. This man, Kenneth Walker, still has top 5 running back capability. Top 5 running back capability. I love Smitty, but I don't agree with his Pickens and Ridley takes. Nice, Tony. But Tony, it's funny because 2 weeks ago everybody loved Pickens. Now Pickens has a bad game, and I'm seeing nothing but Pickens' garbage takes. And it's like, I understand he's coming off a bad game, but you have to be patient with a guy when he's going through a drought. 2 weeks ago, Pickens was everybody's darling. And now everybody hates Pickens because they started him tonight, and they're being an overreacting Roger on Pickens. What do you mean I like Smitty, but I don't agree with his Ridley and Pickens takes? Look, Tony, there's more to me than 2 predictions. There's more to me. This is how you decide to define me, Tony. Like, hey, guys, everybody gather around. I got to talk to you about Smitty. I like everything Smitty says, but we got to discuss his Pickens and his Ridley takes. Tony, come on. Anyway, Tony, I do appreciate you. I just don't know what in the hell you're talking about. JJ, Walker, Devonta Smith, Debo, Garrett Wilson. Now, Garrett Wilson's been popping off lately, but he's still attainable because his owners are looking at it, in some cases, not every case, like maybe it's time to cash in. Maybe it's time to take advantage of a resurgence and let me get out of the Garrett Wilson game. Now, this is where you have to be careful. I don't know that you want to potentially go after him in a 1-for-1 type of situation because you're going to get people to evaluate him inward looking. Got Garrett Wilson on my team. What do I do here? I don't think I want to trade him 1-for-1. Once you dilute the responsibility Garrett Wilson has in a 2-for-2 trade, all of a sudden, Garrett Wilson becomes a little less valuable to the owner that owns him because he starts letting loose of the reins, and you go after Garrett Wilson in a 2-for-2. Garrett Wilson is hard to give up on 1-for-1. Think about it in your own head right now. If someone comes to you and offers you a trade for Garrett Wilson, it's really hard for you to let go of that wide receiver 1 value. You just it feels dirty. It feels like, I traded him I drafted him in the top 15. I can't release him for that. I'm sorry. But you throw him into a 2-for-2. It kind of separates your responsibility, his responsibility and your responsibility to cater to him as if he's a freaking top 15 overall player. So I feel like this is a situation where you complicate the trade, you come get Garrett Wilson in some sort of 2 or 3 player deal, and you get him as a steal. Otherwise, it's hard to acquire him. Same thing kind of with Debo, but the thing about Debo is he's injured and on a bye week, so he's very, very, very attainable right now. JJ, hard to trade for, hard to trade away, hard to hold. There's all kinds of angles here. Will the Vikings lose on their way out of the next couple weeks, and then JJ decides to take his sweet time coming back? Some say he's ahead of schedule. Some say he's right on schedule. Tough to truly know. But I think we need to be careful in all JJ trades because vantage point will matter most out of all these players on here, whether you trade away JJ, whether you go get JJ, or whether you hold JJ. Your makeup, your team makeup is more important than any of the other situations because I can kind of convince myself to get Adams in any sort of situation. I can kind of convince myself to trade away Adams in any sort of situation. I could kind of convince myself to acquire Achane or trade Achane or hold Achane in almost any scenario. Bijan, same thing. Ridley, same thing. Kyler, Kincaid, Aaron Jones, Javonte, Mahomey. I can convince myself of all those very easily, and team makeup almost can't stand in my way from making a deal on any one of those vantage point situations. JJ's different. JJ, if you own him and you can't win and you can't wait, you might need to trade him away. JJ, if you're 7 wins, go get him. JJ, if you're 5 or 6 wins, can't sell high, hold him. There's some people that have waited so long to trade JJ, they don't know what the hell to do at this point. And now they're trying to trade him last minute in the 11th hour, and they're coming to me saying, Smitty, should I trade JJ away for Mike Evans? JJ away for potentially Javonte. And I'm trying to use players on this list because I like these players. So I want people to know that I'm saying no to that. Ridley and Aaron Jones for JJ. No. You either get the house or you don't trade them at all. You hold them. And if the owner is doing exactly what I'm describing, they're panicking now in the 11th hour, even though they've held them this entire time, but they're staring no playoff hopes in the face. That's the difference. That's the vantage point. That's the investigation that you need to do. I can't help you with that. I don't know a freak out Freddy's going to come in here or an overreacting Oscar and say something like, I don't know, Smitty, what you're talking about. I own JJ. I'd never sell him. What's Smitty talking about right here? No one's going to sell JJ right now. They've held on to him forever. I can't stand those blanket Bobby responses where people come in and they just say a blanket statement as if they know nothing about the situation because they don't. If someone is sitting there with 3 wins right now and their plan was to hold JJ, they've been holding strong. They've kept him the entire time. Guess what? You have a plan until you get punched in the face. Mike Tyson said it. Dad said it. Everyone said it. And now we're here looking at Fred in the face, who got punched in the face, and Fred's got to make a move. And everybody else is going to sit back and continue to assume that Freddie's not going to trade him away. Fast Freddie ain't going to hit that button as fast as he can and trade JJ to the first decent offer he gets. And then you're sitting there going, damn, I should have listened to Smitty. Here I thought no one would trade JJ, and now he did. Bob or Fred or Maggie from accounting or Jim from repo, everybody's just scrambling to get a win now. I can't tell you more often than not, the questions I get from people are, I need a win now. I need to make this trade when they're telling me about a bad trade that I don't Smitty approve, especially on my text line at thefantasyfootballshow.com, or you can get my text advice at thefantasyfootballshow.com. I can't tell you how many times I get that message from somebody on the text line. Smitty, I did a bad trade. I know you're going to hate it, but here's why. Let me give you the justification as to why I made a stupid, idiotic trade. I had to do it because I need a win. Okay, well, what happens if you get the win, Bob, and you're looking at week 10 and week 11 and week 12, and your team is so much lesser now because you got the win? Congratulations, you got the win. You got the win. Things are looking up. You got the win. Now you're about to get 3 L's because you made a bad trade. So don't tell me people can't trade JJ away in a bad trade. Don't tell me people won't hold on to JJ all year long. Or Eckler. People held on to Eckler all year long. And everybody say, Smitty, you keep giving Eckler trade advice. No one's going to trade Eckler. I own Eckler. The world revolves around me. What I do, other people will do. BS. I call cap. Because everybody's league's different. And you all know that somebody's trading somebody in a bad fashion right here, right now in one of your 15 leagues that you do. People make bad trades all the time. How many controversies have you had already in at least one or two of 4 or 5 leagues that you have? At least one. In the Marsman League, we've had 3 or 4 trades where people have complained in the comments of the Marsman League. This is a bad trade. How did this happen? How'd you guys let this happen? He's giving players away. In the Moonman League, same thing. Just in these 2 leagues alone, we're seeing that all the time. These are the players we are buying. Bijan, there's risk. Taylor, there's risk. Both these guys continue to see the backups getting a lot of work, and we don't know what the coaching staff is thinking. They're high risk, high reward plays. Swift, is he breaking down? Is he slowing? I don't know, but they're still very good acquisitions because people are freaking out, asking those questions to themselves. And so you can get them cheaply. Ridley bounced back last week. I love Ridley. I'm still buying Ridley. His owners, I'd say about 60 to 70%, especially based on the comments so far I've seen about Ridley. Why does somebody still like Ridley? I can tell you that about 60, 70% of his owners minimum are still like, I don't know, I'm going to get rid of him off of this week. And that's good news because they're still selling low. They're not selling high. They're trying to sell off a peak spike week. And no one's going to pay top dollar for one rebound week, especially if someone tries to sell me that. I'm going to say, look, bro, that's 1 week. I'm going to buy him maybe a little bit above last week's price before he bounced back, as you're saying. He's been garbage. I'll play that game left and right. You can still buy low. Puka Nacua and Kyren and Kupp are all kind of in the same vein as the JJ buy, sell, hold situation. Because if you own Kupp, you kind of have to hold him because people are too scared to acquire him right now at the price tag he's deserving of, because not only did he have a bad game the last 2 games, he had 2 monster games his first 2 games back, over 100 yards in both games, scored a touchdown, was an absolute monster in both those games. But Kupp's last 2 games have been bad, and Stafford's now injured, and Stafford has an injury that is his UCL. And the UCL is not just like a pain tolerance thing. This is an issue he's had before. It's an issue we saw hamper Josh Allen. It's an issue we saw take out Brock Purdy. And he didn't tear it like Brock Purdy, but it's a ability to grip the football. And the fact that Stafford struggled in a big fashion in this last contest to the point where both Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua didn't do well last game, and so much they didn't do well to such a big degree, and there's such a concern over Stafford, people are running from Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua. I'm seeing people get lowball offers, and some people say they can't even trade them, which is crazy because for Puka, it's 1 week. But I do know and understand the concern because Stafford, if Stafford goes down, Puka, Kupp, and Kyren can survive more than Puka and Kupp, but Kupp and Puka, they cease to exist on any level that you see right now if Stafford's out of the picture, if he's out for the year. So there's big concern here. And that's why I understand not wanting to go pay top dollar for Kupp, for Puka, for Kyren. But there is some entry point opportunity because of the freak out Freddies out there. There are people selling Cooper Kupp for high-end wide receiver 2s. I'll buy at that price tag and run the risk that Stafford maybe sits out week 9, has the bye week in week 10, and somehow returns and looks relatively the same, still hurting a little bit, probably maybe even really hurting in the offseason because he pushes through. But I'll buy Cooper Kupp at that value all day long. I will buy this guy, Puka Nacua, at that freak out Freddy price tag as well. These 3 guys in yellow, Cooper Kupp, Kyren Williams, Puka Nacua, are very, very, very good buys. And as I said earlier, the psychology of fantasy football, trade negotiation 102 is complicate the trade. Complicate the trade. The bigger you make the trade, and I say that not so much to say 5 for 5 or anything like that, but meaning like versus a 1 for 1, or you're doing a 1 for 2 or 2 for 1. Once you get into the 2 for 2s or the 2 for 3s or the 3 for 2s, once 5 players or at least 4, 2 on each side minimum, is involved, you start diluting talent in weird ways that messes with people's minds. It messes with the owner's mind when Puka Nacua or Cooper Kupp is no longer the sole focal point of the player they're trading away. When you're trading away Puka Nacua or Cooper Kupp by themselves at a 1-for-1, or you're trading 1-for-2, you focus on that player and you start giving yourselves the pros and cons speech, right? Because in your head, you're like, okay, what's the pros? He's Puka. And people will make fun of me because he's going nuts. What if he continues to go nuts and people make fun of me? And Puka Nacua, he's been phenomenal. I can't trade Puka Nacua. And you convince yourself to not sell at all. And same thing with Kupp. What if he bounces back? I'm going to look like a fool. If you throw a player in, becomes a 2-for-2, guess what happens? You dilute the responsibility. Now all of a sudden it's a messier trade. You got more of a reason to say, hey, I didn't see that one coming. I thought the other guy was going to do better. You dilute the ability to get laughed at for making the trade because it's the complexity of it. And you get people to stop thinking about the positives of Cooper Kupp and they start thinking about the positives of the second player that they're acquiring. So let's say they're going to get a player like, let's call it Adam Thielen. So you're trading away Puka, or you're trading away Cooper Kupp, and you're giving up something that is kind of near equivalent, but the other person really wants Cooper Kupp. They value Cooper Kupp more. You throw in an Adam Thielen, you throw in a Henderson, whatever the case may be, even if it's that kind of trade, okay, where you're sacrificing a little, you're giving a Thielen who's better than Hendy. Hendy's temporary, but now they're thinking about, okay, I'm getting that other player. Now I'm not so worried about Kupp. What if Thielen continues to do well and I'm getting him? And they start laying off the responsibility of the trade. And that's why 2-for-2s right now, walking into the remaining part of the season, once we're getting very close to double-digit weeks, it is week 9, you need to do the 2-for-2s more than do for the 1-for-2s and the 2-for-1s. Pollard, there's some questions here, but there's also some upside. Do I sell him low? Probably not. He's more of a hold than a sell, and he's definitely a buy if people are freaking out. Kyler Murray, if you need a quarterback, and a lot of people do, he's a great buy low because why? Because he hasn't done anything yet. And so you could buy him on spec, but spec's only going to price out somebody so much. His value probably only goes up. Not to mention the setback and maybe not playing this week, and there's 50-50 that he'll play this week. That puts his price down and deflates the market value. And somebody might say, damn, what if he, I don't know, what if he doesn't start next week? Like they just start, the mind starts going. So you can get him now. If you need a quarterback, now's the time to strike. Even if he's going to be ruled out, especially if he's ruled out, he'll be even cheaper. Kincaid, look, Kincaid's going to be either sold too high, you can't get him, or the owner that has him has another tight end. They picked him up and they held him, like your boy said, to all offseason long. And because of that reason, they don't need him. So they're looking for really anything. You can almost lowball to a degree and get them something in their lineup. You don't know how many people we say in a Kincaid trade right now, and they're trading away Kincaid on the show. And we're like, it sucks to throw Kincaid in, but you are getting that lineup piece. Go ahead and do it. That's the mentality you need. If you need a tight end, you go get Kincaid. You give up something like Thielen or whatever, and maybe it's a more complicated 2-for-2, but this gets you the tight end that you've been needing on your team for a long time. You've been struggling at the position. Evans, there's risk involved. Javonte, there's risk involved, but he looks good. Aaron Jones, big risk involved, but top 7 to 12 running back numbers are certainly in the cards. Olave, he's practically getting sold for wide receiver 3 value right now. There are no better players on this list, in fantasy, I think, than on this list for buy lows walking into the remaining part of the season. And the two best, if I had to identify 2 players that feel, maybe 3 or 4 players, I would say Adams might be number 1 buy low. Mahomes might be the number 2 buy low. I would say probably, I think Bijan might be 3 if we nail it down to 3. But most risky is Bijan. Least risky, probably Mahomes. And somewhere in between, verging on the verge, on the point of not being that risky at the entry point, is Adams. And I'd say Achane. So Adams, actually I'd say Adams, Mahomes, Achane, Bijan. That would be my top 3 order of players to go get. Adams, Mahomes, Achane, Bijan. And honestly, if it's running back that you need, I could put Achane number 1. Achane, the reason you can still get Achane is he's still missing 1 week and then has his bye week. every day we get closer to him starting and coming back, he will get less and less available, right, in trades. But he'll even be Achane available walking out of next week because he'll be going into a bye. Yeah, the wait is over. There's still going to be some ambiguity. Will he be fully back? We don't really fully know. We need to get the final word. So people will freak out a little bit. But even after this week, he'll be more expensive. But after this week, going into the bye week next week, he will still be on this list and attainable. But right now, given he's 2 weeks away, you'll never have HN cheaper via trade right now than this moment here. Adams, go get your boy. Let's hit the super chats. And Tony, I was mainly kind of messing with you. I know Tony probably took that to heart here. Let me see if Tony did Tony freak out in here. Tony, I'm being dramatic, just trying to make y'all laugh. Tony, it's okay. You know, you spilled the milk at Thanksgiving dinner. Doesn't mean anybody's not inviting you back for Turkey Day next year. But you spilled the milk. That's all that happened, Tony. We're okay with you, Tony. To the moon.
To the moon.
All right, let's get to these super chats, and we're going to open up the phone lines if you dare. So Perps dropping the first super chat of the night, and it's a $20 mother freaking holler.
Alert. Super chat alert.
$20 super chat. $20 super chat.
It's my boy, Perpsy, in the building. What a disaster of a game. Well, at least Spears didn't hit. Now I need Sharps to go nuclear. Matt Canada needs to be fired. I agree. He feels very much like... It feels very much like the McDaniels situation. They had to actually move Matt Canada from the booth down to the field to try and see if they could kickstart and spark this man. And his play calling is just... It's just not, I don't know. Some could say, hey, the game was pretty solid in terms of the Pittsburgh Steelers moving the football. Look, they're 5-3. And so some could make arguments like, how are you going to complain? But it sucks when you watch the capability of this offense get held back. The play calling's not aggressive. Pickens wasn't used far enough. And you got people in here saying Pickens is garbage. Pickens is not garbage. No offense to anybody that wrote this. It might have even been one of my people that I love very much. You're all my people, but like it might have been one of my boys, you know, one of my OG boys from the beginning of the channel or whatever. So no offense to anybody that said this, okay? I'm not even going to look to see who said it. And nobody tattletale, okay? But anybody that said Pickens is garbage, Pickens, this guy is not good. I should drop Pickens. I'm never starting Pickens again. You know who you are. I'm sure it was said at least 15 times in this live chat. I'm sure 15 of you probably said it at a minimum. That's a ridiculous stance. If you want to say they don't target him, this is good. Pickens had a touchdown. What would you be saying if his foot was in? You'd be saying Pickens to the moon. I love Pickens. I'm glad I started Pickens. He had a touchdown. His foot was on the line. Granted, he should have known better. He's a professional athlete. He's a great player. But his foot was on the line. It was literally this much over on the chalk, and he was out. Otherwise, would have had a touchdown. Would have been a very different story. So Pickens is garbage? I don't think so. Okay, Pickens is one of the most talented wide receivers in the National Football League. And if you think Pickens is garbage, I have a beef with that. And you can call my phone line and tell me I'm wrong all night long. Pickens didn't do well. Pickens disappointed. I'm pissed off at Pickens. Pickens made me angry tonight. But that doesn't mean he's a garbage player. And anybody trying to tear down Pickens' talent evaluation is crazy to me. What a disaster. Appreciate you, Matt Canada. I do believe Matt Canada needs to go. He's not getting the most out of this offense, plain and simple. No matter what anybody says, I don't care if there's wins. And the problem is the wins enable to keep the guy. Okay, we won. We got to keep the guy. We did this. We moved the football. We got to keep the guy. Najee scored. We got to keep the guy. It's still very, very disappointing. Pickens really takes turning. Pickens and really take turns ruining my lineup, says Young. Hey, Young, not everybody's going to hit, though. You can't expect every one of your players in your lineup to pop off. How many guys have 25 points in 1 week together? Not a lot, bro. We've even had weeks where, you know, a guy like, I don't know, JJ doesn't necessarily do well or something like that when he's in there and you're like, damn it, if JJ just would have had his normal day, I would have had a 250-point week. It's not going to so don't worry. Don't fret too much. Smitty, you're the GOAT, but take a lap on Deontay. I will take a lap on Deontay. Deontay had a good day. Deontay had a good day. What do I think of Deontay moving forward? I'd probably sell high. It doesn't mean that I don't think he can't continue to do fairly well. That was his first touchdown in like 10,000 games. But, maybe he broke the seal. And Deontay has some upside. That's for sure. Is he a wide receiver 3 moving forward? Maybe. But I do think there's an opportunity to sell. I would definitely sell. I wouldn't necessarily hang on to him in hopes that he continues to have like 90 and a touch every game. But, he did very, very well, and people need to consider putting him in, I suppose, for sure. Depending on your options, though. Options matter. The situation matters. So definitely depends on what's going on. Addison or Downs? That's a tough one, Patrick. That's a tough one. Downs is kind of higher risk, higher reward, and Addison's probably earned, I think, the start, but the situation is ambiguous, so I don't know. So we'll have to see, broski. Trying to read some of these chat messages as well. What's the Jefferson news? Jefferson news is that nothing. There's no Jefferson news. We're still just waiting for him. The reports recently have said that he's slightly ahead of schedule, which is great news. That's fantastic news. This is a $20 hauler from Paul. Paul, you're the man.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Appreciate you, Paul. Paul says, yo, bro, I've traded Mostert and Godwin for Monty. What do you think? I think that could go either way. Monty once back, maybe he balls out, maybe he doesn't. I'd probably rather have Mostert right now, but Mostert's very injury prone. But hey, Monty's been injured twice now, and they're going to continue to run him hard, right? So he could probably get hurt again. The saving grace for Monty Gibbs, that situation, is that I think Gibbs shined so much in kind of like self-serving of Campbell and the Detroit Lions staff and ownership and brass and everybody to say we were geniuses taking this guy Jahmyr Gibbs at number 12 overall. So to dial him back too much would not be self-serving. Everybody likes to be right, and when the whole media circus out there, news wires everywhere, is talking about how amazing your draft selection was and a player shines, it's time to leave him in the spotlight, even if it's, halfway. So I do believe that the team also, in conjunction with that, says, hey, Jahmyr Gibbs is doing great. Let's continue to get him involved. And we've broken Monty twice. Let's try and keep Monty healthy and have a smash mouth dual rush attack, because they do want that. They want the smash mouth. And we do want receptions for Jahmyr Gibbs, probably more than we want carries in some cases, guys. So this is good news. That, to me, makes Monty a higher likelihood to stay healthy going forward, but also it's going to dial him back a little. So hard to know. I'd say Mostert for now, but Monty might prove to be in a very minimum and equal for you. So if you can wait off on Monty, you'll be fine. Got offered Pacheco, JSN for my Pollard, Logan Thomas. I'm 2-6. Also have Hall, Connor, Pierce, Higgins, Deontay Johnson, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Kincaid, and Burrow. Let's see here. Got offered Pacheco, JSN for my Pollard. And I'm going to say Pollard side, broski. This is what I was talking about earlier. I think people are getting rid of Pollard way too cheaply. I don't condone this. I don't Smitty approve this value. This value does not make sense to me. I get Pollard isn't producing, but I feel like we're getting rid of Pollard too cheaply. I'm going to go buy Pollard at this value, so I'm going to say negative Ghost Rider. Don't do this trade. Hold Pollard. Pacheco's nice, but Pacheco had a bad week too. A lot of people that had Pacheco last week are like freaking out now after 1 week. Everybody's so knee-jerk reactive. I love Pacheco. He's a moon man. We talked about him all offseason long. I love Pacheco, but I like Pollard better. Trade Gibbs for Kupp or Adams. I would take probably either if you're okay at RB. There's nothing wrong with trying to get Gibbs turned into value of Kupp or Adams. When you really think about this objectively, as much as we love Gibbs, would we be plenty happy if Gibbs played like Cooper Kupp for the rest of the season production-wise? The stats, like the box score, like the end of the day, we'd be ecstatic over it. So I think you take probably Adams or Kupp, either one. I love both of them right now at this value, and I think that's good. Or do running back, wide receiver for wide receiver, running back. That depends, man. If you can get Achane involved somehow, then Benz, I would probably try and figure that out. If you got a specific offer, swing it to me and I'll evaluate it. There's too many variables there, but Achane is somebody I want to get involved looking at that list for sure. We got two $20 haulers from Superfish and Perps coming in absolute like monsters, and then got Milk dropping a $20 right on the screen like an absolute menace. You guys are all menaces. You're all going to make the menace list, I think. You're absolute monsters. Josh, appreciate your $20 hauler. You guys get immediate attention. That's what $20 haulers do. And now I hit the $20 hauler button. The dollar bills to the top left are Perps. To the right will be Superfish. Josh will be to the bottom left, and Got Milk to the bottom left. Here you go for all four of you.
Alert. Super chat alert.
little bunk bed quad action going on. Perps says, why do all of the Belichick coordinators minions crash and burn at head coach positions? Now it's time to see how much the locker room wants to play for each other. Irish luck can bring Adams back from the depths of hell. I agree, Perps. I couldn't said it better myself. I think the vibe in Las Vegas is going to change. And I think based on what I'm hearing and what we're seeing in reports like the one I have on the screen right here, which I'll put on screen again right here, it sounds like this team wants to go to war for this guy. For Davante Adams to already publicly say things like this, where he says, I'm ready to run through a wall for that man. Not for this team, not for this coaching staff, for that man. And what do you think that man's going to do? This head coach monster known as Antonio Pierce may or may not be a good coach. We don't know yet, but I know he's a good motivator, and he seems like a player's coach, and he's a very stern but positive, motivating person, even when you hear him talk. What do you think this guy's going to do to his star? Give him the ball. What do you think is going to happen on the first drive of this Raider game? Feed Davante Adams. A little quick short route, a little quick slant. Get Davante the football. First play of the game. Get the ball in Davante's hand 3 or 4 times on the first drive. This could be a 10-plus target game straight off of this firing of McDaniels, and that's why he's one of the best buy lows right now. We couldn't have thought up a better situation. And for anybody saying, Smitty, you hated him, you don't understand me or this show at all, do you? Because it's a buy low, sell high game, baby. And this guy's going to get boatloads of targets moving forward because he supports his coach openly. His coach is going to support him on the field, and it's going to be evident from the start. And the combination of McDaniels and the GM being fired with them putting O'Connell in, and with this guy loving Davante and Davante loving him, it's going to be a bounce back made in heaven. So get your Davante Adams shares on the low while you can. And it is on the low because things will only get better. Mike, $20 hauler. Hey, Smitty, I'm 3-5, and I have Mahomes, Achane, Kyron, Cook, Monty, JJ, DJ Moore, McLaurin, Laporta. Should I trade or stand pat? Davante Adams or DK? Darling, of course you go Adams, in my opinion. Okay, so I would say for this team right here, you're waiting. You're 3-5. That's concerning, but like at this point, you're waiting on Kyron. You're waiting on Achane. At this point, you might as well stay the course because you're literally knocking on the door of their comebacks. Monty as well. He's on a bye week, so you're probably going to take maybe a big fat L this week, but maybe you'll surprise yourself. JJ coming back. That's crazy. This team, like, Got Milk, you're waiting too long to make a move. You probably have to bank on winning out, but good Lord. You've got week 10, 11. You got really 11, 12, 13, 14. I mean, it depends on, like, you might have to trade one of these guys. You waited way too long, Got Milk. You got too many. This is crazy. I would try and trade JJ if I could, or Monty. Maybe Monty and McLaurin for maybe a Cooper Kupp, bro. Maybe a JT type of player. I would probably make those moves. Mike, your team is fantastic. You just got to make sure you make the playoffs because you'll maybe run circles around everybody, but you might need to get rid of Monty and McLaurin to get into the playoffs. You know what I'm saying, broski? Otherwise, it's going to be all for nothing. You don't want it to be like that. Josh, $20 hauler. What's up, Smitty? Need your opinion. I have Achane on IR. Would you trade him for Devonta Smith and Kareem Hunt? No, I would not. Just hold. My other running backs are Eckler, Pacheco. I hold. This is not somebody I'm trading. I love Devonta Smith, but this is not somebody I'm trading outside of top 5 running back value, because that's what I believe Achane is. You're going to hold on that one. $20 hauler from Superfish. Pickens lines up to the left. Pickett throws to the right. When Pickens lines up on the right, he immediately throws to the left. Pickens finally runs a crossing route. He overthrown. Also needs to drag his foot. Superfish isn't happy, and I don't blame Superfish for being unhappy, because there was a touchdown, easy touchdown grab. But the only thing I want to emphasize again is that had he dragged his foot, everyone in here would have been Pickens to the moon. So it's frustrating to watch everybody abandon Pickens. And Superfish, I'm not saying you have every right to be upset. I'm upset. I'm in the group chat, on the Instagram group chat. If anybody wants to get in on the Instagram exclusive, go on my Instagram, The Fantasy Football Show. Click the subscribe button for, I believe it's $4.99. The Instagram adds like $1 to it, whatever for them. But for $5.99 or something, plus some change, you get into a private chat group where we're all in there, and especially on Sundays, I go in there pretty much all morning games and afternoon games and chat with everybody live. Like, we're like, what do we need a touchdown here? And I'm in there the whole day, on and off the whole day. Every like couple minutes, I jump in and out of that chat. So get on over there to Instagram, hit subscribe, DM me after, or email me through thefantasyfootballshow.com if you're not added to the chat group or you don't know how to get in. But over there, I'm like, I'm so upset. I was so upset in the chat at Pickens for not dragging his foot. So I'm mad too. Everybody should be able to be mad. Perps, appreciate your $20 hauler. Thanks a ton. Appreciate you. We got a couple more big dog haulers out here. We got Bums dropping the $19.99, and we got Russian Collusion with the 100 broski to the moon. Russian Collusion doing collusion things in the chat. Both of you monsters, appreciate you very much. And Paul dropping a $20 hauler right on the screen. Paul, you absolute menace, you, all of you. Collusion, give me a break, Collusion.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Collusion. Smitty started a wide receiver in Marsman that has not had a TD since 2021. Fantasy football, you have to take chances. I'm 4-4 in home league. Any moves? Love, Fields, Stroud, due to Fields being on IR. Obviously, you probably got to go Stroud for safety or Love for high risk, high reward there. Just so you know. I mean, Stroud's probably safer. Let's see here. Bijan, Deonta Foreman, Javonte, Achane. I like Achane a lot, obviously. So, Javante's coming back strong. I like the Bijan Javonte right now. Herbert, Cooks, Kirk, Watson, Garrett Wilson, Laporta, Kincaid. Please help. Well, like anybody with 2 tight ends like this, Kincaid, Laporta, you got to trade one of them. So Russian, you're going shopping at every team that needs a tight end. And don't tell me there aren't teams that need a tight end. I'm not saying you're saying that, but anybody that says they're not teams that need a tight end, that's BS, because there are only a handful of great tight ends. Unless your league is an 8-man league, then maybe you can't find somebody. But I would go to those teams. I'd find out what you can get. You might have to overpay a little bit, but you got to use that tight end value to go upgrade something else. Whether it's upgrading Javonte, who's playing great and we love him, or upgrading Kirk into a player that we like a lot. Maybe it's trading for Swift on the low. Maybe it's trading Javonte into JT and you're giving up a free tight end option. Maybe it's Kirk into Debo and you're building that wide receiver room for the playoffs, and you just happen to like Debo a ton more, which I could totally understand. He's got wide receiver 1 potential, especially with the way the Niners have been playing. I think they're soulless without Debo, and once Debo's back, they're going to use him a ton. All those moves make sense. Maybe the Debo one's hard because, I don't know, maybe Kirk is quietly equal to Debo in your mind, and that's fine too. But my point being that you get my drift. Maybe quarterback upgrade. Maybe you can somehow, some way trade Stroud or Love to get into a Kyler Murray. And if you got to give up a tight end like Kincaid to get that done, I would consider that. But your friend is going to be probably upgrading to a Taylor, into a Cup, into a Pollard, into a Puka, into a Kyler. and, using all these players on screen and using some of these players that you have into those players. These are the buy lows. I know you own some of them, which is good. You got Garrett Wilson, you got Achane, you got Bijan. I like your team a lot. I think upgrading your quarterback would be the best move you could possibly make. Now, how available is Mahomes? What's the Mahomes owner look like? Is his team losing? Could you give Laporta? Because Laporta might get you more. You might be trying to shop Kincaid and Kincaid alone. Maybe you shop Laporta. So maybe Laporta and Javonte, or maybe Laporta and the problem is I don't know that you have anybody like in between. Like if you trade Garrett Wilson, then you're struggling big time at wide receiver. But would I trade Garrett Wilson to get Mahomes? Of course I would. So Garrett Wilson, quarterback, Kincaid for Mahomes. I doubt he does it, but Mahomes is struggling so bad you never freaking know, man. People do crazy things when they're looking at 3 wins in the face, or 2 wins in the face, or worse. $20 holler. Thank you, Collusion. Collusion to the freaking moon. Collusion's been here from literally the beginning. I appreciate Collusion, such a OG here on the channel. Also, my team right now is Jalen Hurts. Collusion, call in later. Jalen Hurts, Tyreek Hill. Jalen Hurts, Tyreek Hill, Davante Adams, Breece Hall, Josh Jacobs, now Monty Hawkinson, Buffalo defense. League right now, I have 2 losses. That's a good team. Rate your team. I'd say your team is probably the second or first or third best team. Without even seeing the rest of your team, I can tell you Tyreek Hill, Davante Adams, Breece Hall, Jalen Hurts, Jacobs, Monty. Would I trade Jacobs for Achane? With your record, with your team, absolutely. That's what I would do. That's a situation where I'm okay buying Jacobs because of the uptick in value, I think, for this Las Vegas Raiders team. But I'm also looking to sell him if I can get somebody else excited about him and I can get another player that I'm excited about even more that other people might not be while they're waiting on him. And this $20 hauler from Bums.
Alert. Super chat alert.
And I don't think I gave a $20 hauler to, who was the one that just dropped it? Was it Paul?
Alert. Super chat alert.
I appreciate both your super chats. I didn't do the $20 hauler for you. Should I trade Burrow, Breece, Judy, and Dotson for Hurts, Ramondre, Debo, T. Higgins, and Justin Fields? Should I trade Burrow, Breece, Judy, Dotson? So Burrow, Hurts, Breece Hall, Ramondre, Debo. My team is Burrow, Hall. I don't think I'm trading Burrow and Breece Hall. I don't think I'm trading Breece Hall. I like Hurts a lot, but Burrow could ball just as much, bro. I'm going to say negative Ghost Rider on that situation. A.J. Brown, Olave, Devontae Smith, and Hollywood and Goddard. Is it enough for Breece? What's this? My team is Burrow, Hall, Achane. So no. Don't trade Breece. Your team's really good, bro. You got Olave, Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, Achane, Burrow, Hall. Just wait. Your team's really good. I don't mess with that too much. You got a lot of talent there. This super chat is from Juicebox. Appreciate Juicebox. Smitty, I've got a trade offer. 8-man PPR Dynasty. Nico Collins, London for Walker, Hollywood Brown. I'd take Walker, Hollywood Brown in a millisecond, especially being Dynasty.
You've just been Smitty approved.
I mean, that's cake. That's child's play. That's Mickey Mouse type stuff. Juicebox, go get it done. Do it live. Hollywood to the waiver wire. Have Kyler drop Jacoby for Brown. I would definitely drop Jacoby for Brown. I'm not saying drop Jacoby if you don't have to. You're asking me that direct question, so yeah. $5 hauler from Asan. 10-team 4-4, full PPR. Burrow, Henry, ETN, Pacheco, Madison. And what did we say about Henry? Henry just, in tonight's game, Henry needed to get into open space, and they did that very, very, very well. Whenever Henry was kind of running up the middle, there were times where he could get kind of cutting. He'd have an open lane. He'd get going, pick up some speed. But up the gut, he'd get corralled pretty easily. And even on one of those plays where he normally, his old self would have broke free for a long touchdown run, he got scooped up at the legs. But when they got him in open space, he did very well. And Henry was rather productive tonight. So that was good to see. I think Henry with Levis is a lot better. And maybe he trickles along and produces high-end running back 2 numbers going forward. I don't know that I would trade for him, but I think anybody that owns him that can't get rid of him, that's not bad value. Burrow, Henry, ETN, Pacheco, Madison, Singletary, DK, Pittman, Deontay, JSN, Kelsey moves. Look, your team's good, but I don't know that I can say with confidence you have the best team in a 10-man league. You probably don't. And your record's 4-4, so I think I'm probably speaking facts. Would I trade Henry on the high if anybody would buy him? Yeah, I would. And given you're 4-4 and your team's good enough to maybe beat, a couple teams and get like potentially one of the last wild card spots in your playoffs or whatever, I would be tempted to trade Henry for an H-hand something. I'd be tempted to trade Henry for a two-player combo that includes one of the struggling players on here. Like Henry for Pollard and you get a wide receiver bump seems doable. Pittman up to maybe a struggling player that we love, or maybe Pittman to Debo if you do Henry and H-hand type of situation, Hassan. So go look for a 2-for-2 in that context and bring it back to me and we'll take a look at it. Trade Kirk, Stevenson, and Aaron Jones for Walker and Debo. I take Walker and Debo and I smash the heck out of that.
You've just been Smitty approved.
That one's pretty easy as well. I appreciate your super chat, my broski. Thank you. Elvis in the building. Elvis says, Smitty traded Davante Smith-Addison for Adams and Jonnu. What are your thoughts? I think this could go both ways because I like Davante Smith and Addison's obviously pretty good. We're just concerned about how much his volume's going to look. What's it going to look like? I would say I'd take Adams. I'm going to Smitty approve this.
You've just been Smitty approved.
Definitely Smitty approve it. Looking at your team too, you got a really good squad. Thoughts rest of the season, I think, with Hurts, with Hall, with Swift and Mostert and Achane, and now you got Diggs, Adams. I think the sky's the limit for you. I'd probably say you're going to the moon.
To the moon.
If I had to guess. Top 4 team easily in your league, and top 4 team means you could win the championship at any moment. This one here from Chris. Chris, appreciate you with your super chat. Chris says Purdy, Brees, Kenneth Walker, Amon-Ra, Garrett Wilson, Ridley, and Njoku benches Hopkins, Achane. It's a really good team. Let's see, Hendy, what would you do here? 6-2. I think I probably would say, if this is me, I'm standing down because every player you have I like. The only player I would be tempted to sell, but are you going to even be able to sell him tonight, is D-Hop. So if I could take D-Hop and Purdy and turn that into Tua Tagovailoa, smash. If I could take Purdy and D-Hop and turn it into Kyler Murray even, smash. You need a quarterback. You need nothing else. Maybe Njoku up to, I'd even trade Hendy to make Njoku Kincaid. I would maybe trade even Ford to do that. I would trade Purdy, Ford, and Hopkins to turn it into Tua. Those are your moves. Tua, Kyler, or Kincaid. And Chris, don't touch the rest of the team. It's a fantastic squad. I love it. This right here is Bijan Cup for my Kenneth Walker Waddle. I'd probably lean 50-50. This is one of those calls where I'm forcing an answer, and I'm not going to do that. This is damn even. Bijan's a wild card. Kenneth Walker, frankly, is a wild card with his upcoming schedule. The Niners started to look like almost a cakewalk matchup, and he's got the Niners 2 of the next 3 weeks, but then they made the trade, the infamous trade. Now their defense looks pretty darn tough. Again, potentially, but still not enough to where I'm like freaking out. I'm not a freak out Freddy about it, getting rid of K9. I'm just saying there's wild cardness to the entire situation. Waddle, injury prone, blew up last week. Cup, what's happening with Stafford? It's even Steven. I'd probably lean, I guess, Bijan Cup. Bijan Cup is where I would lean if I had to decide a stance on that one, bro. Appreciate you. Good job, though. It's a good trade. Start 3 this week. Eckler, Kenneth Walker, Swift, Jacobs. Look, Kenneth Walker and Eckler are a lock. There's no debate there. It's really who do you start between Swift and Jacobs. I think Swift is higher risk, higher reward. I think with the new shakeup in Las Vegas, you're probably looking at Jacobs being the safer play between Swift and Jacobs. Doesn't mean that it's going to pan out, but I'd say if you need safety and you're okay with what Jacobs will bring to the table, which is going to be a respectable number regardless, I'd probably go Jacobs if I'm you. 12-man half PPR, just traded T-Law, Ridley, Garrett Wilson, Walker for Mahomes, Eckler, Debo. I would take that Mahomes, Eckler, Debo side. Even though the other side's got a lot of talent, and this is one of those trades where maybe his team was improved and your team was improved almost equally, but I like that. $10 hauler from James. All $10 haulers get moonshots. What's up, Smitty? Would you trade Josh Allen for Kupp and Javonte, or Amon-Ra and Javonte? Kupp for Javonte. Josh Allen for Kupp and Javonte, or Amon-Ra and Javonte? QBs are Mahomes and Levis. So let me get this straight, James. You have both Mahomes and Josh Allen. My first thing, no offense, and you're a super chatter. I don't make exceptions, or I don't use my bedside manner doesn't change no matter what, if it's a regular question or a super chat question. And James, I pretty much am almost guaranteeing that you want it that way. You don't want me to come in and sugarcoat your super chat just because you super chatted. But I'm going to say, what in the hell are you doing with Mahomes and Josh Allen in a 1 QB league? If this is a super flex, you don't dare trade either one of them. If this is a 2 QB league, what in the hell is going on here, James? We're entering week number 9. You could have had all this value for this long. I love that you're keeping Mahomes, because that's the player that's going to, I believe, pop back off. You're not going to get enough value. I do trade Josh Allen. I do probably say give me Cooper Kupp and Javonte, or St. Brown and Javonte. Probably lean toward Cooper Kupp, but man, you waited an awful long time to make that trade. I'm very curious as to what happened there. Outdoors, appreciate you. Thank you for the super chat, by the way, James. PPR Gibbs for Davante Adams. As I said earlier, I'd rather have Davante Adams in many situations. Not every situation. You have Brees and JT and Monty. You'll probably be okay. I would cash in on this because what I believe Adams is going to soon become. And like I said, worst case scenario, if you got Adams value out of Gibbs, you'd be ecstatic. So that should tell you to do the trade. This one from Maverick. Maverick said, traded Addison Spears for Javonte. Got him. I don't think I can hit the got him button, Maverick, but I'd say, this could go either way. Look, Addison could still deliver, but I do think Javonte's on the rise. I think you bought Javonte probably at a respectable value. I don't know that either one of you got one over on the other. Either one of you could still win the trade. But I do like Javonte, and bro, we are going to be pro Javonte moving forward. So Maverick, nice work. And if you needed an RB, it worked out well. Addison, if that guy needed a wide receiver, it worked out well for him. Had to drop those subs. Everybody needs to sub to you, says Paul. Paul, appreciate you. $10 hauler as well. All Paul wants to do with his $10 hauler is get you guys to hit the subscribe button. So please do Paul a favor. Not me. Do Paul a favor. Gerardo dropping a super chat with nothing attached. But Gerardo, I'm sure you dropped another one later. I'm not sure. But thank you for dropping that $1 hauler. Appreciate you. Heating Up Podcast says Mixon or Gibbs rest of season. Gibbs, baby. This is a scenario where just because you heard me say trade Gibbs for Adams, yeah, I like that. Do that. Go get Adams. Doesn't mean I doubt Gibbs, and not at this level. Mixon played okay. Mixon scored a touchdown last week. Looked decent. The offense is humming. There's some upside there for Mixon to a degree. But are we trading Jahmyr Gibbs away? Absolutely not. I'm not getting off that train. Not at all. Not at that cost of entry. Okay, I'm Old Greg. Says, would you trade Jacobs and Kittle for Pollard and Puka? I would take Pollard and Puka and run, bro. And freaking run, Old Greg. And I know you can't run too fast because you're old, but bro, do it and do it live. Roshan, considered a drop. Herbert back soon. Probably J-Fam. To be frank, I wish I wasn't wrong on the Roshan front. I don't think I was going to be. If he stayed healthy, didn't have the concussion, but man, fantasy football is about some luck, and he has some bad luck, and he crapped the bed hard, and he had every opportunity in the world to grab a hold of that job. Now, will he reemerge like next year or in week 17 or something like that? Maybe. I'm not saying he's done, but he crapped his bed pretty bad this year.
To the moon.
Paul, appreciate you dropping the super chat. Paul said, forgot to say 12-man full PPR. Paul, didn't change a single thing. Appreciate you, Paul. Appreciate you. Juice coming in with a super chat says, got a deal on the table. I'm trading Kupp and Stevenson for Ridley and Pollard. Kupp and Stevenson, Ridley, Pollard. Give me. It's closer than it appears. It's It's like the rear view mirror. It definitely is closer than it appears. But I would say at the end of the day, give me Ridley Pollard because I still believe in Ridley. But Stevenson and Ridley kind of are in the same situation. So it's possible, like, you're really talking about Kupp and Pollard. And would I rather have Kupp over Pollard? Probably. So if you feel like Ridley and Stevenson are equals, then maybe take the Kupp side. So this is me trying to convince you to trust your gut. I'm going to go Ridley because I believe in Ridley, but that's where you need to be on this. If you don't like Ridley at all, you don't need to go near that trade because we view Ridley differently, and I don't want you going after Ridley if you don't like Ridley at all. Perps dropping another 20 watt on screen. Brofist Brad dropping a 20 watt on screen. Let's hit Perps first. Actually, we're going to do dollar bills on the right are for Brofist. Perps are for the left. Let's give you a bunk bed $20 holler. Putting the bunk beds together on this one.
Alert. Super chat alert. Alert.
It's my boys right there. Brofist. Appreciate you. Perps was first. Let's go chat. Exit the chat. Hit the thumb up button for your boy. Then jump back into the chat. He would appreciate it. Second live of the night. We're all here for advice, and Smitty to help us over 500 in the chat, 100 likes. We can do better than that. I do agree with you. We have 503 people in the chat and only 142. Hit the thumb up. Perps is dropping a $20 holler just to remind you all of that. Look, what a man. What a mighty good man you are, Perps. Appreciate you. $20 holler from Brofist Brad. Appreciate you. 3 and 5, 10-man, half PPR, 3 wide receivers, 2 flex. Burrow, Kyler, Hall, Walker, Bijan, Pollard, Pierce, Olave, Waddle, Watson, Sutton, Quentin, Goddard. Any moves to upgrade Smitty to the moon? You're to the moon, Brad. This is a good team. I mean, you've got some Kyler flexibility, maybe. We'll look at that. Hall, Walker, Bijan, love it. Pollard, maybe a running back could be traded. Maybe you trade Pollard, maybe you trade Bijan. Let's see here, though. Waddle, Olave, Watson. Yeah, you know what? Kupp sounds like a good, attractive go-get player. JJ could be somebody that you maybe go get. You're 3 and 5, but could be something you could look into. If you can start all of those RBs, though, Hall, Walker, Bijan, Pollard, because it's a 2-flex league, and I imagine you can, there's nothing wrong with holding them, because at the end of the day, all you're really doing is moving around flex players. So make sure the deal feels great, because it doesn't really... It's harder to be any sort of fix for anything if you're just trading Pollard for Kupp when either way your lineup's the exact same. But would I rather have Kupp than Pollard? Maybe. Maybe not. Could Pollard bounce back? Absolutely. What you probably want to do is turn Pollard and Kyler into Eckler type of move. Or turn, let's say, Waddle and... let's call it Kyler. So you're going to the QB needy team, and I don't know how many are out there, and you're trying to upgrade the wide receiver even a little bit. Waddle to something like St. Brown. Waddle to even something along the lines of like Lamb. And if somebody needs a quarterback bad enough, they might see Olave or Waddle as a good enough upgrade. If no one will take Kyler Murray, and you've already tried that, the only thing I can think of really is to try and trade Pollard or Bijan with Watson, or potentially, I think Waddle could be a little much for Eckler, but it's definitely doable. I don't probably trade Hall. I probably don't trade Walker. I guess I'd trade Walker into Eckler if that owner needed a quarterback and you threw Kyler in. I would maybe do that for Bijan as well. I think Ridley's a good go-get for you. I think maybe trading Goddard away and going a little bit light at tight end and going to find a tight end on waivers. Maybe there's one there that we like a lot. Maybe Taysom Hill's there. Maybe Mayer is out there. Maybe Goddard has to be the way out of this situation to get a slight upgrade at wide receiver, Brofist. I'd probably look to those options if I was you. Appreciate you for the $20 holler, my broski. Thank you very much. This one's from Got Milk. Forgot that I have JT too. JT. Oh, I forgot. I have a top 15 overall player. You're in pretty good shape then, pal. You're in pretty good shape. You may not need to move anybody at this point. Nice job. 5-3. It's always nice when you find a JT somewhere. You're like, oh, I forgot I had JT. That's the best feeling in the world when you like your team and you're like, whoa, it even has JT. 5-3, 12-team PPR running back Achane, Kyron, Monty, Javante, Henderson, Spears, Diggs, Amon-Ra, Olave, Tank Dell. Trade Monty for Aaron Jones? Probably not, bro. I like the idea of Aaron Jones, as we all do, but I think Monty's for sure going to come back and get volume. We don't know when Aaron Jones will return. Aaron Jones is a good buy low, hence why he's on this list, but he's a buy low. I think Monty is more of a hold than a buy low. You know, he's going to be hard to buy low on coming back soon. He's got a bye week and he's back. Old Greg, 12-man, Hurts, Fields, CMC, Josh, Monty, Debo, Addison, Zay, Kittle, Laporta. Should I trade Kittle and Jacobs for Puka and Pollard? If you like winning, I would.
You've just been...
That would be a got him trade.
Got him.
If I've ever seen one. Look, Kittle's great. And Jacobs, like I said, uptick for sure. But Puka and Pollard is definitely a move I'm making. And Kittle, selling Kittle high is not ever a bad idea. Not saying he can't continue, but I definitely feel like with Debo coming back, Kittle's role will diminish a little bit. Lamar, Hall, Henry, Gibbs, Spears, Puka, Addison, Flowers, Quentin Johnson, McBride. How is my team? Any moves to make? It's a good team. Henry looked good tonight. Gibbs looks phenomenal. Puka, Addison, Flowers. Really good squad. Kittle, McBride. I try and move Kittle on the high. Throw McBride into the lineup and try and upgrade, let's call it Addison, into a Lamb or a player right below Lamb. That's what I'm doing with this team. Very, very subtle move, but it's the move to make for me. And it's the move that sticks out like a sore thumb. QB $10 hauler. Appreciate you, Matt, for the $10 hauler, my broski. Allen, Kyler. Try and move Kyler. Kamara, JT, Achane. And I don't just say that like lightly because your boy told you always have a backup plan. And it's safe to have Kyler. Don't trade him for nothing. You got to upgrade your lineup massively or you hold, because having a backup quarterback can save your season. But given we're entering week 9, and if anybody's trying to make a swing, that's where you can do it. So take it with a grain of salt. Make sure you don't just trade Kyler away for anything. Kamara, JT, Achane, Kupp, Lamb, Thielen, Cooper, Laporta. You know, I'd venture to say that your team is so well-rounded, unless you can take Thielen and turn him into another Lamb-type player using Kyler from a QB-needy team, your team is just and Kincaid, Laporta, same thing. I'd bank on Kincaid and trade Laporta with Thielen to go get a Lamb-type player. And I know you already have Lamb, but I'm giving you an evaluation, maybe St. Brown. If you can do that with either the quarterback, Kyler, or the extra tight end, whichever one, Laporta or Kincaid, gets you the most, that's amazing. That's an amazing trade. Just got denied Laporta for Bijan, looking to trade a tight end. Can you give up a little more like Cooper and get Bijan? I think you got denied because it wasn't a great offer, but if you up the offer a little bit, you might end up getting Bijan, or go get Achane for that move. What's up, big dog? Appreciate you, Dark Knight, coming in the building. Dark Knight out there protecting the streets with Lego Batman. Appreciate you guys. Always appreciate you. This one here is from Pierce. Pierce says full PPR. Full PPR. I think that's how I evaluate everything if you have a previous question, so it won't change anything, but I appreciate you. Try and include any question you have in the super chat, because I'm long gone past your super chats by the time you update me on something. I don't know what the hell we talked about. Should I trade Christian Watson for London? I would take, and thank you for the super chat, by the way, Pierce. And it wouldn't have changed anything. I always think PPR. Christian Watson for London. I would rather have Christian Watson. What did London do last week? What did he end up with? I'm blanking on his final line. London's hard. I like London a lot. Maybe I go London. Maybe the change. Maybe London's going to get fed. I'm going to go London. I just want everybody to know that Watson, and we can keep apologizing to Watson, he had 55 yards. He's had back-to-back 55-yard games, 125 the week before. No touchdowns over the last 4 games, but London still feels better with Heineke in there. I'm going to go London. But I want people to know I'm not giving up on Christian Watson. I know he might get benched for a lot of people. I get it, and that's understandable. But he would have 2 touchdowns and 140 yards. And it wasn't like he just dropped balls and it was all his fault. It was just bad luck the entire game. Contested catches, penalties, things that just... It was so frustrating to watch Watson not explode because he was doing everything in his power to get 140 yards and 2 touchdowns. It was horrible luck. I'll give Ridley and Cooper and get Javonte for JJ. Ridley, Cooper, and Javonte for JJ. Ridley, Cooper, Javonte for JJ. That's a tough one. I'd probably say give me... Or JJ and Monty. Give me JJ and Monty. JJ and Monty. Yeah, I didn't even see Monty there until right now. So Monty for sure tops it off. I have JK, Bijan. Yeah, definitely do that. I think JJ's worth it in that case, Amazon Joe. Some people don't have the team that makes sense for, but yours is okay. $10 hauler.
To the moon.
Appreciate my boy coming in strong. Megas. Smitty, I made a trade for JJ 2 weeks ago where you said got him. Now I'm worried about it. Cousins going down and JT because of Moss. Would you look to package JT for K9? I would. I'd take K9 over JT in a heartbeat. That doesn't change. I would have said that 2-3 weeks ago too. I think they were closer maybe when we were thinking JT would come back on a tear. Moss started going nuts. Went nuts the first game JT came back, and that kind of changed the value a little bit. But I still would have said Walker every week you asked me that. JT Walker. Walker's always been fantastic. Bye weeks out of the way. Schedule's rough, but he's still a touchdown machine. I would do that trade no matter what, but I wouldn't freak out about your situation too much. You made a calculated gamble on JJ and JT, and I think you just need to follow through on it. And if it doesn't work out, it was a calculated gamble. There was no certainty with it, you know? And I suppose you could look at like Achane and like a wide receiver and back out of it. Doesn't mean backing out of it's a bad move. It could be a better move for your team. But I need to know the details on the trade. But I definitely would trade JJ in the right context. Would I trade JJ for Pollard and Debo? Of course. Would I trade JJ for Pollard and Achane or Achane and Garrett Wilson? I probably would. Would you trade Bijan or JT for Wilson and Ramondre? I would not trade Bijan or JT for Garrett Wilson and Ramondre. I got Gibbs, Achane, Hall still. Wide receivers are Cup. Yeah. Garrett Wilson I like a lot, but I'm not trading JT or Bijan. Arguable, but not doing it. $2 hauler. Traded Adams, Murray, Watson for Kenneth Walker, Godwin, Hawkinson, Fields. I like Kyler Murray more than Fields by quite a bit right now because we don't even know what the hell Kyler Murray or what the hell Fields is right now, whether he's going to play. I assume he will. I assume he comes back. I do believe they roll with him. I think it's a good trade on both sides. Would I rather have the Adams, Murray, Watson? I'd say by a hair, but once Fields is back and if he starts looking relatively good, like top 8 to even top 6 to 10, top 6 to 8 for quarterbacks, then that side could win. But that side needs that to happen. Trade Josh Allen for Lamar and Pacheco. I'd probably say if you need an RB badly and you can't win with Josh Allen, like you're trying to win with Josh Allen and it's not working, Yusuf, I would take the chance and gamble on Pacheco. But if you're doing really well, I would just stand down and keep Josh Allen because he scores so many points. And I like Lamar, but I like Josh Allen enough to say, hey, things are working. So it depends on your situation. 12-team, 5-3, sent a trade. Kirk injured. Gibbs, Addison, Dak for Ridley, Bijan, Spears. Team is Burrow. AK. Okay, so Kirk, Gibbs, Addison, Dak. Kirk, Gibbs, Addison, Dak for Ridley, Bijan, Spears. It could go either way. I probably lean Ridley, Bijan, but it could go either way. Nobody got one over on the other person yet. It's to be determined. There's a lot of moving parts to it, but I like the side that you got. Trade away DJ Moore, Pacheco for Evans, Cook, and Pickens. I would probably rather have Evans, Cook, and Pickens, to be honest. I'm not somebody that's panicked on Pickens to the point everybody seems to be. But I would definitely rather have the combination of James Cook, Evans over DJ Moore, who I don't know what he is right now. Pacheco, I like Pacheco a lot. I think Pacheco is really good, but is James Cook close enough with Evans being the top off here and Pickens being another top off of the trade? I just think there's a lot more value there, but very arguable to a degree. I think somebody could say definitely arguable. T-Law on a bye. He most certainly is. Howell or Carr? Give me Howell because J-Fam, Howell just was the number one quarterback in the NFL last week in fantasy. He was the number one fantasy quarterback. No one's saying he produces that kind of line again, but I think we give him the start, bro. I think we give him that nod. My Kyron, my guess is because it didn't happen on your dime. You're just like, I don't want, if I start him now, I'm chasing points and it just feels dirty, right? But you gotta go Howell, bro. My Kyron, Hendy, Kyler, Sharps for H.N. Baker. Look, your quarterback matters here, Soshi. If you're starting Baker, I'm a little concerned, and I'd say don't do this because Kyler is going to be fantastic for you. But if Kyler's extra, then you're overpaying, but you deserve and have the flexibility to overpay, and I take H.N. If Kyler's your starting quarterback, Kyron and Kyler are going to crush, and I'd rather keep that. But if you have a quarterback and Kyler's just extra trade fodder, then trade him away. Thoughts on Tank Dell now? I mean, we're waiting and seeing on Tank Dell. Unless you've got bye weeks galore and you're debating like garbage with Tank Dell, put Tank Dell in. Give him the shot. Rookies go up and down. Remember what I always tell you about rookies. They'll do really well, and then they're going to go down. And the good ones resurge on a vengeance. So everybody needs to be very careful not to put their rookies in the doghouse for too long. The receivers, because the rookie receivers specifically, they'll dip for sure. Every time, every season, every rookie season, there will be a lull. Some lulls are deeper and longer than others, and then they always bounce back. And I just want to preface that if anybody's thinking of like cutting ties with Dell for garbage, should I drop Dobbs or JMO for him? I'd rather have Dell than JMO right now. JMO's not a very secure player. Superfish says, hey Smitty, DeBalt said that it was reported that Burks left with the team after he was taken to the ambulance. Yeah, that was good news. He was moving all of his extremities after, getting to like the tunnel. So that was good news right when they got him to the locker room. So thanks for reporting on that. Burks is definitely going to be okay. Got a trade with me giving up Edwards and Gabe Davis for Jacobs. I would take Jacobs in a heartbeat. And then we got a freaking $50 hauler from Haney. Haney, did you see my response to your other super chat, bro? Remember when you super chatted on the way out and I left it in like 10 different places? Haney, I hope you did see it. Can you confirm that you did? Haney to the moon dropping a 50.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Haney to the moon. Yo, boy, Smitty, I'm 8-1, 10 team. Want to pull the trigger on Davante Adams. They want my Swift. I hear you talking about Adams a lot. Is it 100% no doubter? I would say this. I'm going to press one button, Haney. It's either going to be good or bad. So do you go get Adams?
You've just been Smitty approved.
I go get Adams in that situation, Haney. And please tell me if you received my other... yes, I did. Thanks. Okay, I made sure I put it everywhere so you saw it. Okay, good. Yeah, look, Swift is great, but he could be tailing off a little bit. He's kind of flatlining a little bit. And I would cash in and Adams to the moon in this situation, bro. Let's go over to I think the super chats are caught up at the current moment. Any super chats come in, I will answer them as we go. Thank you, Haney, for the $50 hauler. Thank you, Collusion, for the 100 wad on screen. What both monsters, you menaces, you absolute straight menaces. And Collusion, anytime somebody drops a $100 hauler or higher,
He is a unicorn.
so anytime somebody drops a $100 hauler or higher, you go on the unicorn list. And so let me put this up here for Collusion. Collusion, thank you very much for dropping the hundo on screen. Collusion, you sit on screen here. I know I got Ron Navy up here. He dropped a 300 the other night, so he goes on here. You guys are all unicorns. Wheel Snipe Selly, a.k.a. City, is on here with a 640. Christopher Smith, 410. Ron Navy, 300. If I missed anybody recently, you can always remind me, and I'll definitely throw you up on the board. All right, let's hit the phone lines briefly, and any super chats that come rolling in, we'll put them on screen. First and foremost, we got Russian Collusion on the line here. Russian Collusion, you get first dibs here. You dropped a $100 hauler. I'm not even going to set a timer on here for you for dropping that hundo, bro.
What's going on, my buddy? Long time, No talk.
What's up,
Can you hear
Collusion?
me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Well, all
Appreciate
right.
you.
So I just want to give you a little bit more on my chat that I sent in. Is the guy that has Mahomes? His running backs are horrible. He has Akers, Algier, Gibson, Henry, and Spears. His wide receivers, which one of them you mentioned on the show, Samuel, Debo. He's got Ayuk, Flowers, McLaurin, but he has Andrews as a tight end. I know I'm strong at tight end, so I just want to know your thoughts on what you think I could offer, because I don't think he's not going to take a Love.
What are you trying to get, Collusion?
I think I need to upgrade my quarterback and my wide receivers. I feel I'm very weak at wide receivers.
I know, but I'm trying to follow it here. So who's his quarterbacks?
His quarterbacks right now are Minshew and Patrick Mahomes.
Okay, so you're trying to get Mahomes from him.
Yes.
And who? So
and I have Love, Fields, and Stroud.
So you're gonna have you're gonna have a problem getting, because the only one you can give him. I mean, maybe he'll take Love and Stroud together. You know, like let's say you were to give him Love and Stroud and say, "Hey, you'll be okay." If everybody on the phone line could mute themselves, I hear a lot of background noise. When I come to you, you can unmute. Love and Stroud. If I see levels from anybody, I'm going to drop you off the line. So please mute. Love and Stroud aren't going to. So you get Mahomes by giving him Love and Stroud. I mean, you'd have to give him something like Pollard. You'd have to give him something like, I don't know, a wide receiver to the tune of like a Lamb. Like, there's no way he's giving you Mahomes unless you give him a top 14 overall player, probably. Because there's two things.
I'd love to get Debo and Mahomes from him. So let me ask you this: would you take a chance on giving up A-Chain for one of them?
A-Chan, would I trade A-Chan for Mahomes?
Or I need a wide receiver too. So, I mean, I have A-Chan, I have Bijan, and I have Javante. With Javante, he's on his bye this week, and Bijan has his bye week 11.
Yeah,
but I need a wide receiver, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, if he's got Debo, you said he's got Debo?
Yeah, he's got Debo.
I mean, you could trade Javante for Debo, but you're not getting anything crazy from Mahomes. And as I was trying to say, is Mahomes, the problem you have with Mahomes is it's not like you can trade Bijan for Mahomes straight up. It's not like you could even trade Achane for Mahomes straight up. The problem is when you tell somebody, I'm going to take your quarterback and I'm going to put you into a Stroud or a Love, they don't want to do it. It doesn't matter if you offer them a very good player. You offer them Jamar Chase, they may do it, maybe. But it's one of those things where someone comes to me and they say, Smitty, I know I should be hitting accept on this, but how do I go from Mahomes to Stroud? How do I go from Mahomes to Love? People just don't want to do it. It's going to be really hard. The only way you can get Mahomes is if you send probably a better quarterback back. But I would try and trade Stroud. But if you trade, let's say you traded Stroud and Bijan for Mahomes, which is probably the best you're going to get. I don't think you're getting much in return. Would your team win?
Right.
Would your team win? If you feel like it could, then I would potentially offer that. But you'd have to give him Bijan. And I don't know that I'd trade Achane, nor do I think Achane would do it alone, because Achane's not playing right now, and that's not an attractive. I'll go from Mahomes to Achane, and he sits out 2 weeks, or sits out 1 week and has a bye week. So, tough to say, bro. But go get Debo using Javante. I like that move. That move's good.
Okay. What's your rest of the season on Fields and Love then? Because I really like them both, but I'm not winning with them right now.
I guess if you said you had Fields too, I guess you could try Fields and Stroud, or Fields and Love, because maybe Fields and Love or Fields and Stroud. Actually, that might work. That might get him to trade you Mahomes. I just don't think you're gonna have to throw Bijan in. So maybe if you could try sending him this offer. Try it. Mahomes and Debo for Fields, and tell him his choice of Love or Stroud. He can pick. So Fields, his choice of Love or Stroud to comb, to tread water until Fields is back, and you give him Bijan, and you try and see if you can get that done. Then maybe you throw in Javonte, you make some sort of Mahomes and Debo for Fields, Love, Bijan, Javonte. That would be a pretty good trade.
Awesome. I appreciate you, Smitty.
Yeah, later, pal. Appreciate you.
All right.
All right. Back to we got a boatload of people on the phone line. The person's been waiting a while. I'm sorry, Draven. Draven, I got to give you 30 seconds. We got to get back to the 30 seconds, or I'm never going to get through these calls, and I have super chats starting to come in. So, Draven, you got 30.
Is K9's value going down, and should I try to move him because I have Laporta and Kincaid? Should I try to package like K9 and let's say Laporta for Diggs, or can I hold out on K9 and he's going to bounce back?
Well, you said, is he going down in value? He is, and that's going to make it hard to trade him because now you're selling him low. So he's bye-week free. He's still very, very solid. I love K9. I'm not like freaking out like everybody else. I'm not a freak out Freddy about him. But he does have a tough schedule upcoming. It did feel like the Niners were going to lessen up and be a really good matchup for him. But now, it's tough to know. Niners are doing good work in terms of trading, trying to upgrade that defense. But I still think they've got a defensive coordinator problem. But they play the Niners in 2 of the next 3 weeks, which is crazy. I would say that if you could get Diggs, and who's your backup tight end? Kincaid?
Yeah.
So, I give up Walker and Kincaid for Diggs. I would do that. But I don't. Laporta and Walker is a little too heavy for me. Look, Walker's still a monster, man. And I think I would do that if it was Kincaid. And I say that one breath, and then the next breath I'm like, I like Kincaid more than, like, quietly like him more than Laporta, but like the fair market value part of it. But either way, that's good. No one's taking a bath on that trade. You could easily argue the Walker side. All right, Draven, got to go. Appreciate you. Call back in if you got another question. Ron Navy. Ron Navy, you're up.
Hey.
Yo.
Everybody out there that's hating on Pickens right now, just remember, all those, he always makes those. He messed up tonight. He didn't get his feet in. Normally, he's dotting it right there. He's done it over and over and over again. Pickett is the one that needs to up his game because his passing was atrocious. He missed a lot of wide open receivers because he threw too high. And the other thing is that I think a good streamer this week for running back would be Royce Freeman, since Green Bay has one of the worst rushing defenses in the league. Royce Freeman would be a nice streaming running back in like a flex position or something.
Yeah, I agree. Jimmy wants attention on this. Jimmy, I'm the man. I'm not going to run from this. Jimmy, I know you got to post it over and over and over. But Jimmy, I said you start Pickens. It isn't even a question, and Pickens didn't do well. But Pickens had a touchdown drop, and I'll say it didn't work out. My bad on the call. But everybody freaking out on Pickens, just like Ron said, and as I said earlier, it's like, guys, this guy was an inch or two away from having a touchdown, and everybody singing his praises. And right when I got into the live stream, I saw a lot of reactions, and I understand everybody's upset at him, and I get it's fantasy. I get it. It's not a big deal. It doesn't really bother me. When I saw everybody going, Pickens is trash, I'll never start him again, and it was like 15 comments in like about a 60 comment period. It's just like, really, this guy is a phenomenal player. Some say top 12 overall wide receiver talent wise. And it does suck. His situation, no offense, Ron, but it does sometimes suck. It feels like he's handcuffed. I feel like he's only allowed to use one arm. That's how it feels in this offense sometimes for Pickens. And I think Ron might agree with that. But it's like, whether it's Canada, whether it's Pickens, whether it's Canada, whether it's Pickett, whether it's a combination or whatever. I just the part I hate is that, like, what does a mid-season change do? I don't know. Maybe it's harder to make a mid-season change, but when they win, when you're 5-3, it's enabling, and so it's like Canada's doing just fine, and I don't think he is. Like, Tomlin, his defense, his mentality, as the commentator said at the end of the game, it's not always pretty. The Steelers try and wear you down and hang around to the end and try and close it out. But it sucks because this doesn't have to be the way. It could be Tomlin's defense mentality and also crush a team if they were aggressive enough and had some better or more aggressive play calling. But there's no reason Pickens shouldn't be getting more work and volume and looks. It was ridiculous. There are receivers out there in the National Football League that get 15 targets in a game. You're telling me this guy just going to float by with... How many targets did he have tonight? Let me pull it up.
Who? Pickens?
Yeah. It was...
He had about 5 or 6, I think, but a few of those
5.
were over on chance that.
Yeah, 5 targets. 5 targets. You know, he's dealing with the mess. I understand it didn't work out. I get it. Did your super chat get read? Great.
The run game going. Warren and Harris, they stepped up. They did step up.
Warren, I love Warren. I love Warren. Warren looks so good. And Harris did good. I'll admit Harris did good, but I still think Warren's the better player. And granted, he's getting like spot work. A lot of times the scat back has more yards per carry and looks a lot better until they get thrusted into the lineup. We see that time and time again. So it's tough to say what would really happen if Warren got the start. But I'm pretty sure it wouldn't be that scenario. It'd be more that he would be successful. Now, will he hold up? I don't know. That could be part of the problem, but
He was running over people.
Yeah.
Between the tackles.
I love him.
He's not a small guy. He's 215 pounds. I mean, he's not like the feeble little guy. He can handle it.
Yeah. All right, Ron. Anything else?
No, that's all I got. I think with but the Royce Freeman thing, I just wanted to.
Yeah, Royce is nice. He's nice. He has some appeal. I mean, the sharing carry situation's kind of, but I mean, look, a lot of running backs are sharing carries. I mean, probably anybody that's debating Royce Freeman's debating between another running back that's sharing carries. So it's kind of the way it is. But yeah, no, Royce is a decent play for sure.
Alrighty.
Ron Navy to the moon. Call back if you got another one. All right, I'm going to go over to Rockout. Rockout, you got 30 seconds as well. Go, bro. You're a Mars man. You jump to the front of the line.
Yeah, what's your thoughts on Roshan this week? I know we don't have much information on how they're going to use him.
I mean, he's bench-worthy material until further notice. I mean, what can you do? I wish I wasn't wrong on him. You know, I don't feel I was wrong on the talent, but it was just a crappy situation that unfolded in the worst possible way, the worst luck a player could have in Roshan, getting concussed to the tune of missing 2 straight games when your running back in front of you goes on IR and misses 4 weeks and you can't even get on the field. What more can you say? I think Roshan may reemerge at some point, but I certainly have no faith in him right at this moment. It is what it is. All right, appreciate it. Anything else real quick? Rock out.
Yeah, out of Ferguson, Dotson, and JSN, which 2 would you play as the flex?
Dotson, JSN. Probably JSN, but that's risky. Like, Dotson's probably safest at this moment, but I mean, we don't really know if he's going to continue to play, but the way Howell played, the game script was positive. It wasn't like they're just airing the ball out. Like, it was really good. Like, Dotson was used in a very effective way. But I probably lean JSN. The Seattle wide receivers are still a little banged up, and I think they want to get JSN the football. And he that touchdown catch, here's the line of scrimmage. Here's the end zone right here, and JSN was running like he caught a football right here, and he did this hard cut route and took the football into the end zone. And everyone says how slow he is. These DBs had angles on him, and they couldn't get him. He ran this corner so hard, ran into the end zone. I was so impressed with his touchdown run. It was phenomenal. So I'd say JSN, but I'd say Dotson safer. All right, rock out.
I need 2.
Oh, then I'd go JSN and Dotson.
You would consider Ferguson each game I read somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, I consider it, but that's not what I'd go with personally. But trust your gut.
Yeah.
All right, rock out. Call back. You got another one. Mumble, you got 30. I'm being strict with the timer. Hurry.
All right. Do you think I should drop Roshan for Madison? Someone drop Madison.
Madison. Who's that?
Yeah, Alexander Madison.
Who's that? What?
Alexander from the Vikings.
Does he play football?
I think so.
I think so. Maybe that's where you got it wrong. No, I'd probably say at this moment in time, Madison probably has a little bit more value than Roshan, just a little bit, but that could flip, and I hope it does. No offense, but I hope I'm rooting against your move here.
Because that's all I wanted to ask about, like, if you thought they were going to use him more now that they have that new, Joshua Dobbs in there.
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'd say this, bro. I'd say things aren't looking great for him, for Madison, but Roshan, I'd say things are looking even worse for him because not only is he sharing with Deonta Foreman, but Khalil's coming back, and so Roshan feels like he's going to be trending downward, whereas Madison's like this, but at least there's some upside and a little bit of ambiguity that might be positive for him. We'll see, but neither one of those are good options, bro. No offense.
Yeah, it's because I have Javonte on bye, JJ on IR.
All right. Hey.
Ayuk on bye.
Yeah, who is this? Who am I talking to right now? Ninja? Or is this Mumble?
This was Mumble.
Oh, Mumble. Okay. All right, Mumble. Call back if you got another one.
Okay.
All right. Ninja, you got 30.
What's good, yo? I just traded Pollard for Gibbs. I wanted to get your thoughts on that.
We've had this one all day on the earlier show, Pollard and Gibbs, and it's not that I don't love Gibbs as much as Pollard. I just don't think that's good fair market value. I think you should have got Pollard or Gibbs and something. You traded Pollard for Gibbs. I love Gibbs. I think this could work out. I want to make that abundantly clear, but I think the fair market value of this, even though he's been struggling hardcore, I still feel like the fair market value commands a little bit more. But I don't hate this trade. I think you're banking on this team understanding what Gibbs is bringing to the table. And again, I think Campbell is probably going to have a self-serving mentality here where he says to himself, okay, everybody's praising us. And I know he's the kind of guy that maybe doesn't care about what the media says to some degree, but it's going to affect you when everybody, ownership, brass, everybody's like, great move with Gibbs, congratulations. How many times do you think people have told him what an amazing pick, great job, we finally did it? Not to mention Campbell did say himself, words from his own mouth, that the breakout game is coming. And so you knew that they were going to use him. I think they realized that Monty cannot continue to carry the workload to the tune he's been getting it because he's broken down twice now. So they have to give Monty less work, and they have every reason in the world to self-serve their confidence and their egos, even if it's subconscious, to say, we got the guy at 12 and everybody made fun of us, and we're going to prove to the world that he was absolutely worth it. So I do believe a 50-50 divide will exist moving forward. And quite honestly, that's plenty, because if you see Reynolds on the ground, the running back had 14 carries for like 80 yards or so and had a touchdown call back. There's plenty of work for Gibbs to have 50 to 70, 50 to 90 rushing yards per game and 5, 6, 7 receptions, depending on how much they need to use them. And that will, in turn, give him 100 total yards and a very strong shot at a touchdown every single week. So, honestly, I don't hate the trade. I just think that fair market value, maybe you could have got more. But I would have told you, I like the idea. Just what else can you squeeze into it? That's it. So, not a bad trade.
Perfect. Thank you for everything.
All right, later, Ninja. Appreciate you. Call back if you got another one. This is Treslow. Treslow, you got 30. And then I go to the super chats.
Fire take, bro, on the Gibbs, bro. I gotta say that. I got 2 questions, bro. So I got Ingram on a buy, and I need to drop one. Drop Dobbs, Sanders, or JSN.
Who's Sanders?
Miles Sanders.
Who?
Yeah,
Who?
Miles Sanders.
Miles Sanders? Does he play in the NFL?
I know, bro. You just the name value, man. I know he could bounce back.
Miles? Has anybody seen Miles before? I don't know what this guy even looks like anymore. You could show me a picture of him. I'd be like, who's that? Is that a former player? I mean, bro, he's non-existent. But So it was Miles Sanders. It was who?
It was Miles Sanders, JSN, or Romeo Dobbs. I gotta drop one. Well, I gotta drop one because I gotta pick up a tight end.
Let's ask the chat. Is as much as I want to make fun of Miles Sanders, Dobbs is still like how likely are you ever insert Dobbs into your lineup? If it's like slim to none, then I'd say take the chance that Sanders was just coming back, wasn't fully used, and that he gets more work and Hubbard gets hurt or whatever the hell, and Sanders becomes relevant again. So I guess we probably say drop. Let's see, mid Sanders, minus Sanders, missing Sanders. I guess so. I would say maybe you drop Dobbs if you're never going to use him. But only because maybe, like you said, name value, maybe you could throw him into a trade. And maybe let's say he starts, a game again. Like, let's say injury occurs. Yeah. And he gets thrown out there. Then all of a sudden you get to maybe like capitalize off of one big game. But let's see if anybody says stay away from the Texans backfield. Did my super check. Gringo, you've asked 3 times. I got it right here, Gringo. I'm going to come for it 1 second. I appreciate you, Gringo, but hold on, hang tight.
Last question, bro. Would you take this trade right here, bro? So I'm going to be giving up Tony Pollard and Michael Pittman. Sorry. I'm going to be getting Tony Pollard and Michael Pittman, and I'm going to be giving up Jahmyr Gibbs and DJ Moore.
Pollard, Pittman, Gibbs, Moore. No, because so this is what I was saying before your call. I think this move right here deserves to go from Pollard to Gibbs. The person getting Gibbs needs something more. And I think the problem is, like, Pittman could be argued as good as DJ Moore, but I think DJ Moore does have more value. Fields is coming back. So I feel like this Gibbs DJ Moore side has a little bit more value. There's
what about Pollard, Pittman for Rashad White and Puka?
Pollard, Pittman for Rashad White and Puka. I'd rather have Gibbs and DJ Moore.
Yeah. But I'm saying for this trade, so this is a whole different trade. Would you rather have? So it would be Tony Pollard and Pittman, or would you have the Rashad White and Puka side?
I know, but okay. So if you're I would rather have the Pollard side. I think. Okay. I think. I mean, look, Puka and Rashad White's. Yeah, Puka and Rashad White's not bad. That could be argued. I think Pollard and Puka could be argued. I just think that with Stafford injured, it's hard to know.
Yeah, for sure, bro.
All right, man. Later. Okay. Yeah. Let's go over. That was Treslow. Let's go over to Sebastian. You're live, Sebastian.
Hey, Smitty. I'm 6-2 right now, and I have a pretty much complete team with Kyler on IR. The only position I put in was quarterback. I just secured McBride off waivers before I sent out Andrews. What did you think of Waddle and Andrews? Waddle's my wide receiver 3, or Jettas and Connor.
So you have McBride, and so you'd be trading Andrews and who?
Waddle.
For JJ and what?
JJ, Connor, and Evan Ingram.
Well, why would you go after Evan Ingram if your whole point is to get rid of Andrews because you got McBride? I think what you're doing to yourself is you're missing an opportunity to get JJ and a piece that helps you. So I think I would say I don't want Ingram. I've got McBride. What can you give me to beef up my team? That's when I come in and I get a Ridley thrown in for what appears to be free, or something like that. I think once you start getting a tight end back, then you start looking at it like, I don't know, it's more even Steven than it should be. So I wouldn't go get Ingram. That gives you a situation where you send a message next week and you're like, hey, Smitty, what do I do here? And I'm like, get rid of one of the tight ends.
Yeah, I'd be throwing darts after this bye week.
Yeah, so unless you can get something here with JJ, I'd probably say I keep Andrews and Waddle. Because you don't even know for sure that JJ's coming back right away. It could be a longer, stay. All right, I got to go, bro. Appreciate you. And then I'll open the phone lines again. This is Balake from Missouri. Balake, a.k.a. Blake. What can I do for you?
So assume I have CMC, okay?
Assume.
Should
Okay.
I drop Jordan Mason? Yeah, assume I have CMC. So should I drop Jordan Mason, the Chiefs defense, or the Eagles defense this week in order to pick up Jeff Wilson or Pierre Strong? And the reason I ask is because I need an RB to cover the bye week.
I would take Jeff Wilson on the assumption that he gets work and falls into the end zone.
Okay, cool. And who would I drop to do that? The three options were Jordan Mason, the Chiefs defense, or the Eagles defense.
I don't know. I hate holding two defenses, to be honest with you. I find myself rather have an extra RB that could get in there or something like that. So I think Mason, if you got CMC, you kind of need Mason. So I would not divide that up. Although Mitchell's kind of the backup too. So it's like, who the hell knows? But I'd probably still hold on to that. Because if he went down, Mason would get work. Drop. Let's see here. What's the KC's? This is the morning game. Miami at KC.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's not the best play this week. It's an okay. They're always an okay play. They're pretty good D. They can cause havoc anywhere.
I think it's supposed to be the highest scoring game of the week, though.
Yeah.
So would that be bad for the Chiefs this week?
Yeah, I'd probably say drop. I'd probably say drop KC in. What's KC scoring in your format?
You mean PPR? Is that what you're asking?
Well, not PP. I mean PPR. Non-PPR doesn't matter. What are they ranked? What are they ranked in your defensive leaderboard?
I don't know. I'm not looking at it right now.
Let me look at it for you. Hold on a second. Let me just see availability or no leaderboard defenses. KC they're 7.
Yeah.
Philly is actually.
What Eagles sitting up?
Wow, Philly's 11. I still like Philly. Maybe. Damn it, maybe. That's tough, bro. I guess you.
Yeah, I know.
I guess you rule with. I mean, this week Philly plays Dallas, right? So I probably lean Philly, but that's me. KC and Philly, they're pretty close. That's me. Preference. In your scoring format, whatever you think is going to be the right choice for your scoring format, because everybody's scoring format's a little different on defense, and if you feel like Philly makes big plays and you get big play scoring or whatever. But KC has been playing pretty well. 20 gifted memberships from DW's back. All right, hey, Balake, I appreciate you. Call back when we open the phone lines again.
I'll call back in.
All right, DW dropping the freaking wad on the screen. DW to Saturn.
To Saturn.
I love DW. When I see DW coming in, he hasn't come in for a while too. I've been so down. DW hasn't been here. The double D coming in and dropping a double D on the screen here. DW to the moon. If you're gifted a gifted membership by DW, thank him, because he just came in hot. And something tells me he might drop another one or two here. So congrats to anybody that got one of DW's gifted memberships. G Money dropping a 20 watt on screen. Let's go, G Money.
Alert. Super chat alert.
That's my boy right there. G Money coming in doing strong things tonight. G Money says, hey, Smitty, is there a way I can get Davante or Mahomes on this team? QB Love, Olave, Deontay, JT, Brees, Kelsey. You're going to have to give up Gibbs and Fields for Mahomes. And I think he probably would consider that. And would I do that? I mean, honestly, Mahomes, Olave, Deontay, JT, Brees, Kelsey, it's a pretty good team. I think that's a team that could walk into a championship. I probably would do that trade. I would try and get something else back. As for Davante, you probably can get both, but if you were to trade, let's say, that's going to be a tougher one. Like Gibbs and I don't know if I want you to trade Gibbs and Olave. You'd have to get somebody back. Gibbs and Watson for Davante, you could try that. That might work. But I think the Mahomes one might be a little easier. But Gibbs and Watson, I don't know if I give Olave and Gibbs for Davante Adams, to be honest. This one right here is from, let's see, Appreciate your super chat. 10-man QB, Lamar, Kamara, Pacheco, St. Brown, Garrett Wilson, Kincaid, Flex, Flowers, Bench, Rice, Gibbs, Javonte Williams, Kyron, Achane. Love the running backs that are just sitting there. Murray, any suggestions? Yeah, you're trading Murray away. First of all, your running backs are freaking off the hook. I like your team. I don't think I move anything, but try and maybe you upgrade Lamar into, well, maybe you just let Lamar ride. But I'd say Mahomes is such a great buy low. I feel like you could maybe get rid of a Javonte or, damn, you got Kyler too, though. You know what? I would just go to the QB needy teams, try and get rid of Kyler and Javonte, Kyler and Gibbs, Kyler, and try and get a solid player from the buy low list right here. One of these guys using Kyler and like I said, Gibbs for a upgraded player, Cooper Kupp, for example. And then if you can't do that, like Kyler alone for potentially, I mean, you could go after a Debo, you could go after a Swift, very doubted, a Ridley. All those players seem doable to some degree using just Kyler or Kyler and one of these smaller pieces. But if you do Kyler and Gibbs, I feel like you could probably go after Kyler and Gibbs could probably get you JJ, Taylor, Bijan, Kupp, Kyler Gibbs, Achane, you got him right. Puka, you know, and then that Mahomes is doable. Mahomes is doable in that other trade. Thank you, G Money. Appreciate your Thatch. Appreciate you. Thank you again, G Money. By the way, this one's from McDermott. McDermott says, "Let it ride or make another trade." I'm 3 and 5. Burrow, Goff, Bijan, Eckler, Pollard, Achane. Assuming you could start all four of those RBs. Yeah, if you could start all four of those RBs, including Achane, let it ride. If you can't, I would definitely be trading one in preparation for Achane to get in the lineup. And the player I trade is probably Pollard, and I try and trade Pollard for like Kupp, for Puka. Players on this list right here that make sense for it. You know, combinations of players on this list, but that's probably what I would roll with, broski. Appreciate your super chat. And past that, I mean, it's a good team. If you can start, again, all four of those RBs, you're in a really good spot. Waiting for my buddy to decide on my Ridley, Flowers, Walker, Sharps for Chase, Murray, Stevenson, or Cook. I'd rather have Cook over Stevenson. Chase, Murray, Cook for Ridley, Walker. Yeah, I'd rather have Chase, Murray, especially if you can use the quarterback. I have Achane, Hall. What do you think? Chase, Murray, Cook. Chase, Murray, Cook. Especially if you can start Murray. And he's a quarterback upgrade. I would say I'm getting rid of that Walker Ridley side. Now, if you can't use Kyler, I mean, Ridley and Walker for Chase is arguable in Cook. But I'd probably still rather have the Chase side. So no matter what happens, I think you're going to make a good trade. The Gringo, here you go, the Gringo. I got you. You still here, pal? 12-team, full PPR, 5-3, QB, Carr, Dobbs, running backs, Bijan, Mostert, Spears, Gainwell, Algier, AJB, Ridley, Amari, Nico, Sutton, Hawkinson. Trade Nico for Aaron Jones and Howell. If you like winning, Gringo, you're going to smash that button.
You've just been...
I mean, to be honest, Gringo, that's one of the easier questions I've been asked all night. I mean, frankly, you're going to get a quarterback that's very serviceable in Howell. I mean, he's number one last week in quarterback scoring. And Aaron Jones, 6 to 12, and it's a wide range, 6 to 12 running back appeal, Gringo. That is pretty darn good. Nico's nice. I'm not saying he's not, but I would take the running back gamble here if I'm you. It's just a good move to make. Gringo, you here? I'm looking for you, pal. Hopefully you heard all that. Just traded Madison, James Cook, and Shaheed for Javonte and JSN. So really James Cook and Shaheed for Javonte. I'd rather have Javonte, JSN. I'm really into the idea of acquiring Javonte right now. Professor Stroke, $2 hauler, traded Addison, Pitts, Pollard for Henry, Puka, and Njoku. I'd rather have the Henry and Puka side for right now. So I think you did good there. But it's a tough one. I was like, are we trading for Latavius Murray? I hope it's not Latavius Murray. I hope it's Kyler. I hope it's Kyler Murray. Thanks for the super chats here. I got Russian Collusion coming in with another 5 wad, Ernest with a 5, and Casillo with the 5. So appreciate all of you. Gringo, you here? Did you get my response, Gringo? Where's Gringo at? I don't see Gringo in here. Gringo, let me know if you're here so I know you got your response. DW to the moon, dropping massive wads. DW dropped to 50. Dropped to 50. Man, DW is going nuts, and he's going nuclear in the chat right now. DW to Mars, DW to Saturn.
To Saturn.
Get this man a seat to Saturn. Freaking monster. And then we got Sizzle coming in with the 5 wads. We got 4 5 wads on screen as we speak right here. Gringo said, thanks, Big Dog. Gringo is in the building. Gringo, appreciate you. Glad you heard my response. Sorry about the delay. Sometimes we get so much going on in here. I try and make the show not just about super chats, so I will hit the phone lines when the super chats are cleared, and then when they pile up a little bit, I try and clear the phone lines and make this show all-encompassing. Make this a very entertaining show. And usually our watch time is super high on the show, meaning that if you start it, you kind of finish it. That means you're here. We've been live for an hour and 59 minutes and 57 seconds. We're about to breach 2 hours right now. 2 hours we've been live. And usually the amount of people that are here from the beginning are here to the end. And that's my goal. That's my goal. My goal is to make you want to watch this entire show, because then I know I'm delivering a product that you enjoy. This is something that you look forward to. Maybe I'm whispering sweet fantasy nothings into your ear pod right now as you're leaning to your side, as you're going to sleep. Smitty's tucking you in at night, and I take great solace in that. And I appreciate every single one of you. This one from Casillo, trade AK for Eckler. That's a tough one because honestly, bro, I mean, AK could be the best running back of the week, but so could Eckler. I think at the end of the day, I'd rather have Eckler, but it's very, very close. I think people are going to have different perspectives on this, and these are both players that we've been talking about for weeks, and Kamara specifically is a player we've been talking about all offseason long, and we've been hitting the money on that. Kamara to the moon. Not only have we talked about Kamara more than anybody in the fantasy space, period. We were on that constantly for the negatives, and we put him, and he continues to remain on planet Uranus.
And off he goes to the planet known as Uranus.
He's on here with Okafor and James P. and Deshaun Watson and Mixon and Dalvin Cook. He is the king of planet Uranus. Okay? Okafor is his servant. On this list right here. But king of planet Uranus, because why? Because he is that kind of individual off the field. But that didn't mean we didn't talk the crap out of this guy in terms of drafting him. Freaking championship contending teams with Eckler, or with Kamara. Kamara's an absolute monster. Okay. Smitty singing lullabies. Fantasy lullabies in your ears. I do. I tuck a lot of people in at night, okay, and I take great solace in that. It's one of it's my biggest achievement. You know, every night this is the fantasy football put you to sleep show, and not in a bad way. Not in a bad way. Just you seem to like and Sway. Sway is my biggest fan. I don't know if people know, my biggest fan ever is this bird right here. There's nobody that's a bigger fan than me. Where's Sway? Let me see if I can find Sway. I've got it right here somewhere. Dang it. Where is it? Where is it? Sway, where are you? Where is it? Sway Fly. Here it is.
Hey, Sway. It's a fantasy football show. Come on, son. Want a little snack? Come on, let's watch Uncle Smitty.
Look at this. Look at this scene, too. Gibbs will climb. Look at it.
Is that Uncle Smitty?
If he climbs into the top 25, yeah, you heard me. A second-round pick. It would not shock me if on August 20 he's getting drafted at 18 overall in the second round.
It's fun to, you know what's funny? It's fun to see that clip. Is the Sway's favorite clip. That's my biggest fan. That bird. He watches every show. His owner is literally like gets tired of listening to the show, I think. Slime, you guys know Slime, because the bird has to watch every episode. But this bird clung to the Jahmyr Gibbs content like it was going out of style. And this bird knows what's up. This bird knows good content when he sees it. Sway to the moon. Drop a bird emoji right now for Sway. Yo Smitty 12-man league traded Addison for Adams, then traded Kamara, Tank Dell, Ingram, Taysom Hill for Ridley, Pollard, Andrews. I think you smashed on all those fronts. 4-4 from 1-4. I do love Kamara, but I think Pollard, Andrews, and Ridley is a fantastic turnaround on that. You smashed all those trades to pieces, bro. Ernest to the moon. Ernest, you just did it. You did a bang up job with those trades, my guy. Absolutely fantastic. DW dropping wads. DW, appreciate you dropping the 50. Birds and the Bees. Another episode there, 10,000. We'll talk about that another time. If I try to move K9 for a wide receiver, what wide receiver value can I get in return? Probably Cooper Kupp. Honestly, it comes down to trading K9 for an Achane and Ridley. Achane and Debo. Achane and Pickens type of move. Buy low on a wide receiver is probably what I would do. Straight across, Lamb, St. Brown. Honestly, if you go to thefantasyfootballshow.com rankings and we try and find a list of potential wide receivers, this is where my rankings can be found. I'd probably say, looking at this list, it's like Diggs is too high. Cooper Kupp, Amon-Ra, CeeDee Lamb, Puka, and like JJ, and then that's really kind of it. That's where the line gets drawn, essentially. So I don't know that you're going to be able to get much for K9 straight across. That's when you're going to have to go Breece Hall. Well, Breece Hall, if you were to trade for an R, you're probably not going to get anything. Breece Hall probably costs more. I was going to say maybe you could get like a free Pickens and that kind of thing, but I don't know. Maybe someone's going to value Breece Hall more than K9, to be honest. I'd say like JT, K9 to JT, get Ridley thrown in. K9 to JT, get Debo thrown in. Swift, K9 to Swift, get Debo or even higher thrown in. Like you could do something creative like that. You got Achane already, though. Achane coming back week 11, thinking of upgrading Flowers, Davante. I have Chase. If you've got Davante, that's fantastic. Upgrading Flowers / Davante. You don't need to upgrade Davante. Davante and Chase are going to crush for you. Sizzle. Collusion to the moon. Collusion says, what are your thoughts on Pitt's having Canada? Pitt having Canada on the sidelines. You think they want to go after McDaniels? I know. I'm like, can you imagine? Oh, Ron Navy would lose it. He'd go ape shit if they replace Canada with McDaniels. But no, I think what it tells me is they're when someone calls you in, I don't know if anybody's ever been fired or been on probation, or maybe you slacked off on your job. Maybe you're listening to the show too much on your ear pod, whatever. And they bring you in and they say, here's your action plan. You're going to do this. You're going to do this. And we want you to, get better. And we're going to review this in 6 months. That's what this is. Canada going to the sidelines was an action plan. Meaning they want to get rid of him. They're dotting their I's. They're crossing their T's. They're trying to see if maybe they're wrong. Maybe he'll bounce back. Let's put him on the field because what isn't working, we need to change it. But the problem is they win games. They're enabled. And that's the problem. So I don't know that anything's going to really change. I think all the super chats are out of the way. We'll open the phone lines one more time. Call into the Christopher Smith and Wheel Snipe City phone line.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
If you guys want to be owner of the phone line, all you got to do is drop a super chat bigger than Christopher Smith's super chat. And you got all month long to do it, and you will own the phone line if you do. And if anybody drops a $601 super chat ever in a live stream, they will get their own emoji inside the emojis that are given to anybody with the gifted membership. And I think many of you got a gifted membership from DW tonight. All right, let's hit these phone lines real quickly. We got this caller, 262 caller. Where are you calling from? What's your name?
From good old Wisco.
Nate from where?
Well, Wisconsin.
Oh,
Milwaukee.
okay. I'm not familiar with Wisco. I don't have that terminology.
You're good. It's definitely a Wisconsin thing for sure.
Wisco.
Yeah, dude. I'm like, might be letting this trade happen. It'd be kind of crazy, but I was looking for your advice.
Bro, it sounds like you're talking in
offered-
it sounds like you're calling from a submarine, not Wisconsin. Can you maybe pull your phone out of your armpit and say it one more time?
Is that better? Is it better?
Not really, but go ahead.
Fair enough. All right. Yeah. So I'm offered Achane and Walker for my Eckler. Possibly might also be able to do like an Eckler and Wilson for like an Achane, Walker, and Davante, which would be kind of wild. But I'm curious what you think.
So you're trading Eckler for Achane and Walker, or what was the other one?
The other one would be like if I tacked on, it'd be like Eckler and Garrett Wilson for Achane, Walker, and Davante.
Davante Adams?
Yeah.
I just want to make sure you're not saying Davante Smith instead of Devonta Smith.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people say it that way, even though I do sometimes. Okay, so you get
sure.
D. Adams. Bro, if you get, first of all, I don't even know, do you have vetoes in your league?
Do I have what?
Do you have vetoes in your league?
Yes.
You gotta be.
Actually, they've changed it a few times. I don't know. It might be commissioner approved now, but I'm not sure.
Because this would be this would be like borderline. I'd worry about, like what could you throw in here to just maybe balance it a little bit. But I definitely, I think everybody in the chat would agree. Davante Adams, Achane, and Walker crush Eckler and Garrett Wilson. And I like Eckler and Garrett Wilson. I really do like both of them a lot. This is a wide receiver 1, in my opinion, low end, maybe high end wide receiver 2. But this right here, Eckler, I mean, love him. Bye week free. I think he's a top 10 running back going forward. Easy. Top 6 to 10, probably top 5 to 10 potentially. Top 5 potentially. But this is a top 5 running back. This is still a top 5 capable running back, even though it's a tough schedule. And Adams has, 5 to 10 wide receiver upside going forward with the changes going on in Las Vegas. I'm really amped about. It's probably weird for a lot of people to see me amped about Davante Adams. And that's just the nature of my show. If anybody's upset about that, and they say, well, we avoided Adams because, good, I'm glad everybody avoided Adams because of what I said, because everything I said came true pretty much in Las Vegas. I mean, really, it did, and we're staring week 10 in the face now, or week 9 in the face.
Right.
So it's not like you had 8 weeks for it to fail. So now you get to swoop in and buy Adams lower than you would have had to pay on draft day, and now we can all take him, potentially to the moon. Balake, can you mute yourself real quick? There's a lot of background noise there, Balake.
Yep,
Thank
done.
you.
Sorry.
No problem. Anything else, Nate from Submarine, Wisconsin?
Yeah, what if he doesn't go for the added on Davante, and what if it is just like Eckler for a chain of walk?
I'll be a little disappointed because it's got me excited, but yeah, you still probably, I mean, you're taking out Garrett Wilson, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, if you take out Garrett Wilson and Adams, I'm still loving the trade. There's pros and cons to it. Like I don't know that I'd say he got worked over, because arguably Eckler could be the best player in the deal, but I also think Achane could be the best player in the deal. I love Achane, man. I love him so much.
For sure.
All right, bro. Appreciate you.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
All right. That was Nate from Wisconsin, and now we're going to go over to Ninja. Ninja, you've got 30 seconds, broski. Hit me with your question.
Good, yo. So this is a big if, but if Kyler Murray plays, would you play him? And is Cam Akers worth a pickup?
Okay, so question number 1, would I play Kyler? So, I mean, are you going to give me any sort of background here or alternatives? I mean, if I just say yes, I mean, you're just going to...
Oh, I mean, because I have Minshew. So, I have Minshew, and so if Kyler would play, I would.
If Kyler's playing, I'm going to play Kyler. Minshew's safe, though. But I'd probably roll the dice on Kyler. But he feels like 45% likely at this point. But, I mean, he certainly... Things could change with one more day of going out there and just being like, I feel ready, coach. And it definitely could happen. But there was a Adam Schefter report saying that, and this was days ago, that they were leaning going Clayton Tune. But part of me also thinks, like, I don't know, maybe this is just like coach speak. Like, think about it from this perspective. Why does getting rid of Dobbs, I mean, they had the trade deadline, obviously, but why does getting rid of Dobbs and going Clayton Tune make sense? Part of me feels like, let's not let him know Kyler's going. Let's not let him prepare for Kyler. Let's let Kyler have an unprepared defense. Still prepare for Kyler a little bit, but if Kyler's named the starter, the defense will focus on preparing for Kyler. Whereas right now, they got to divide kind of their attention to both quarterbacks. They got to kind of say, we're maybe facing Clayton Tune. We can work him over, but we might not be facing Clayton Tune. We got to prepare for Kyler. But it's a whole different like setup defensively. Like a bunch more prep would go into, let's go get Kyler his first game back. Let's blitz the hell out of him. It's a big game plan difference. So it's smart to kind of throw people off and go, Clayton Tune's expected to start, but we're going to see how Kyler does. And they're being coy with it, but it's it's got wiggle room. I think maybe that's what they're doing, and this is a coaching move. Because honestly, I kind of like Gannon, and I like what he's doing in Arizona, but we'll see. Definitely Kyler, bro. And then Cam, I mean, depends on what are you cutting. Who are you cutting?
Well, honestly, I mean, it's kind of a little bit of a revenge pickup because when I lost Nick Chubb, one of my league mates picked up Ford, and I don't know, I've kind of been noticing like maybe Cam Akers may take over, and so I was just thinking about picking up Akers in case, he does take over, and then my opponent would be out without a running.
But who are you dropping? Who are you dropping, though?
It'd be Waller, Darren Waller.
Yeah, he might. I have a feeling Waller. We're going to hear Waller is going to IR because whenever you hear a player say, and I'm not positive on this, but whenever you hear a player say something like, "It's going to be a while," or "He's frustrated," that's not 1-2 weeks. That's something. Okay, second opinion, or so. I have a feeling we're going to hear IR and he's out for a minimum of 4 games, but. It's risky to cut him to some degree, but even if he came back, would you even trust him? So I'm okay with that.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right, bro. Appreciate you. And Joe says Pickens sucks. Joe. Ninja, appreciate you. Balake, you're live.
Hey, all right. So 2 of my targets are Adams now, and then Olave. Now, if you were to move Breece Hall scratch that. Garrett Wilson and Achane. Would you move Breece Hall for those 2, Garrett Wilson and Achane?
Breece Hall for Garrett Wilson and Achane.
Yeah. And I don't even know if the owner would do that, but I'm just contemplating because I really like Breece.
What's this Adams? What's Adams Olave about?
Well, I think you brought up good points. I am fearful of the Raiders' O-line, though, so I'm not sure if I agree entirely about Adams and going after him.
Okay. Garrett Wilson and Achane for Breece Hall. What would you guys do? Would you guys rather have Garrett Wilson and Achane or Breece Hall? If the chat could vote, I appreciate it. I kind of lean toward Achane, Garrett Wilson. Because Garrett Wilson can at least hang with Hall, and he could outscore him. I mean, let's be honest. I'm not saying I would rather have Garrett Wilson over Hall, but is there a world where in the next 2 weeks while we wait for Achane to return that Garrett Wilson could outscore Hall? And then you're like, okay, that's great for my team, and now I get Achane back. Give me Achane and Garrett Wilson, but let's see what the chat thinks.
While they come up with that, do you think, what's your confidence that Aaron Rodgers does come back in the fantasy season?
I don't know. I feel like he's going to play. I think if they're out of it, he won't. Or he could come back in week 17 or something like that. But I think if they're in wild card hunt contention at all, and you never know, it's still early enough to where this could shake out that way to where they're 2 games back, or they're looking at. He's out there throwing and planting, and I think he's a little over a month away from exploring the idea of coming right out. But we'll see. Keep in mind that granted, it was a little bit more time. Actually, was it? I forget when Akers came back. I want to say when did Akers? I feel like
he was at the tail end of the season.
Yeah.
It was like week.
Yeah, so it was
17.
quite a bit more time, but Akers did return during he didn't take the full year off. He returned after like 9 months. I think Rodgers beats that, and it's just going to be an anomaly. But remember, he doesn't have to cut hardcore. He'll lose his explosiveness, which is fine because he doesn't run. He just needs to make sure he can cut and plant, learn how to take a hit differently. But yeah, I think there's a chance. I think a lot of people like to say there isn't because I don't know why people get so upset about it. They're like, why are we talking? That's a comment I get a lot. Why are we talking about a player that's not going to return? He's not going to return, Smitty. I know, Smitty. You don't know because this guy's out there in the field cutting like as he throws or planting and twisting and walking around without crutches now. And all it's going to take for him is the ability, can he jog around? If he can jog around, he'll play. That's all he needs to do. Can he jog without tearing it? Can he jog? He doesn't need to sprint. Can he jog? So,
Yeah, Akers was doing ridiculous drills too. If you remember back in 2021, that was insane what he was doing after.
He wasn't good. He wasn't good though. He was awful, and he had no explosion. But Aaron Rodgers is a quarterback. He doesn't need explosion.
Yeah, different position.
Yeah. All right. Hey, Block A, call back if I open the phone lines again. Appreciate you. Go check the chat for the vote. Later.
Yep, fine.
Okay. Travis Rowe with a super chat here. $10 holler. Travis to the freaking moon. Travis, appreciate you.
To the moon.
My broski, Trav. Trav says, Smitty, Howell, T-Law, Kyler. Okay, I like it. Howell until Kyler comes back. Maybe you get Kyler this week. I'd be contemplating Howell over Kyler this week, but I probably would just shove Kyler in. I'd be too excited. Diggs, Pickens, DK. Sorry about Pickens tonight. Dotson, ETN, K9, HN. I like the team a lot. Hawkinson, very good. Laporta, Kincaid, you got to trade one of those tight ends. What to give for Davante? Start with the tight end. Give them any tight end they want. You say, hey, you choose Hawkinson, Laporta, Kincaid. Take anyone you want. And DK. Pickens, if Pickens had a good game, that would have been a good one to use. 770, you're live. Who's this? Where are you calling from? Who's this? Where are you calling from?
This is Noah.
Noah from Georgia. All right, Noah, what can we do for you? Or what can I do for you?
So yeah, it's a weird fantasy year this year. For some reason my 10-man league is better than my 8-man league team.
Well, I mean, it's not that crazy. I mean, I've heard crazier things.
So yeah, in my 8-man league, if I'm in last place, I have to take the SAT. So,
oh, you have to take the SAT?
Yeah.
What if you just took it like you took it back in high school, where you just bombed it anyway? You just B. I mean, can you take it like that, or do you have to like read every page and somebody watching like a hawk? Like, how does that work?
No, you got to go to the test center and.
Damn, bro, test center.
Reading section there, everything.
That's brutal. Bro, can I make a suggestion for your league? Can you implement next year, please? Can you please tell your league this, that you have to hit a certain score? You got to keep retaking it until you hit it. Come up with a number that's like not guesswork. Like, you have to literally find out what a competent score would be, and that way you can't just go in and select all B's or whatever, bro. That would be hilarious if you had to keep retaking that bad boy. That would be amazing. That would be amazing. Hey, do me a favor and call in from the testing center or something. All right. Hey, what can I do for you, Noah?
So in my 8-man league, my team's looking pretty bad right now. Looking pretty bad. So I'm 3-5 right now. 3-5. And in a bad situation.
Yeah, I got you.
So this is my team. I got Bijan Robinson, Breece Hall, Derrick Henry, A-Chain, DK, Amari Cooper, and Ridley.
Why is that
I
bad?
need to figure out who do I need to trade.
Who's your QB? Who's your QB?
That's pretty bad. Watson and Fields. Watson and Fields. No.
Well, hopefully Fields comes back. What quarterbacks are on waivers?
Well, I picked up Gino. No.
All right. Well, I'd probably say, bro, I'd probably trade. I'd consider trading. I don't know. Your team's not bad. I don't know why you're saying this. Your team looks good. You got a quarterback situation maybe that you could upgrade. Would I throw Amari and Fields together to go get like Tua or Burrow or something like that? Absolutely. But I also wouldn't be that opposed to just banking on Fields coming back. Henry played pretty well tonight for the most part. Achane's coming back. DK, Amari, Ridley's not horrible. I don't think this team... There's not a lot to really trade, though, to be honest. So you're kind of stuck where you are unless you're going to trade Henry for, like... I don't know. You bank on Hall, Bijan, and Achane, and you trade Henry away for a wide receiver like Cooper Kupp. You know, that's doable.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, go get Cooper Kupp, bro. Go get little Cooper Kupp. Good luck.
Didn't you talk about Matt Stafford's injury, though?
Yeah, I mean, it's worth the risk. I mean, Henry's got his own risk, you know, being older. He's 29 years old. You know, he looked good tonight, though, but I think there's some value in that. You trade him high, Cooper Kupp, or go get, I don't know. I mean, you think you could trade, like, Henry and Amari for, like, Diggs? Chase? I mean, I don't know if it's doable, but try. Would I trade Henry straight up for Mahomes? Maybe. I don't know who that Mahomes owner has. Maybe he's got, you know, something else. And maybe you can get even more. You can do some sort of trade. But if you were to trade Henry for Mahomes, you'd have Hall and Achane eventually, bro. What's your record?
3-5.
You think you'd make the...
Facing someone
Yeah.
that 17 more points higher.
That'd make it hard to do this trade, Henry for Mahomes. But try the other ones. And try and get in Tua. Try to get into Tua using Fields and Amari, honestly. Or something like that.
All right, well.
All right.
I guess I'll update you.
All right. Good luck on the SATs, bro. Later. All right. Daniel, you're live, bro.
Hey, Smitty. I got offered this trade 1-for-1. Chris Olave for Puka. And I'm considering it because of Stafford's injury. I'm a little nervous about it.
Can I ask you a question, though? Like, what's more something to be more nervous about? The state of the passing attack in New Orleans? Winston gets in there, it actually improves. But so maybe we're hoping for that. I'm not saying hoping for an injury necessarily. I'm not saying that. But, like, you know, I don't know that they're moving away from Carr unless he gets hurt, though. But, like, and things can improve. You know, I want people to understand, like, Olave could just start getting going. Like, it's football. Football is different than any other sport. You could literally be the best player at your position, or not best player, but, like, top 5 at your position. You know, like, Dotson could continue to be a top 15 wide receiver from here on out. Like, this is football. It's crazy. But don't you think the New Orleans Saint passing attack and Carr is just as big of a worry as Stafford? You know, so I probably just lean with the Puka side. I don't think I'm messing around with that. Puka's got too much value.
Puka. So you're saying you got Brett Rippon over Derek Carr?
But you're not having that. It's not your scenario. Like, if Stafford were out, then we'd have that conversation. But right now you're having that conversation with me when Stafford's the quarterback. It might be 1 week, maybe, and maybe Stafford plays. Then they have a bye week. And he didn't tear his UCL, and there's concern. And you probably heard me say over and over and over, bro, that if Stafford goes down, it's game over for Puka and Kupp to continue to produce the Puka and Kupp numbers you currently see right now. Because look what happened. When Stafford got hurt in this game, They plummeted. Both of them did very badly. So he probably does sit one game, but then he's got a bye week, and Josh Allen recovered from this injury. I'm still going to preface that, hey, trade Puka and Kupp on the high, but I'm still going to tell a lot of people to buy Koopa is what we call it, both of them, Puka and Kupp together. I'm gonna buy either one of them in scenarios where people are selling them like you are for Olave. So it's the vantage point that matters. There's room to buy Puka and Cooper Kupp, and there's room to sell them, and there's room to avoid them, and there's room to hold them. It just depends on your vantage point. But you're assuming Stafford's out. Like, I can hear it in your voice. You're like ripping. Like, he's not, like, that's 1 week maybe. Maybe he might not even start, but maybe 1 week.
Right.
Yeah. Not to say you won't be right. You know, like I'm throwing a lot of caution out there, but not Olave. I mean, I like Olave still, bro, but not over Puka. All the risk is very, very arguable on both sides. All right, Daniel, appreciate you.
Yep, take care, Smitty.
Nate from Wisconsin again, from the submarine. Nate?
Yeah, it was good. We're back from the submarine. Yeah, so just one more quick thing, because like I got to figure out who to drop when proposing this trade, because my league doesn't allow direct IR ads for like a chain. So I'm kind of deciding between like a few of my stashes, like between like Shaheed, Tank Dell, or like.
What do you mean you're deciding what to cut them or what? What is it?
Yeah, to like drop. Yeah.
Okay, Shaheed. What else?
Tank Dell, yeah. Or I just picked up Fournette to stash.
How's that working?
How's what working?
How's that working? I mean, if I'm cutting anybody, it's Fournette. It's Fournette. He hasn't proven done. Okay. You know, I know Hunt's tempting to say, hey, extrapolate what's happening there with this, because Hunt was out of football and all of a sudden he's emerging, but Fournette is a guy that usually comes in overweight when he's in line to play football in August. So I don't even know what he's looking like right now. Do I think Fournette would be intriguing if the word was he was going to start or something? Like, yeah, I would probably pick him up, but these guys have more value right now. Fournette's a big what if. So of these guys, that's easy call.
Cool. All right, yeah, I appreciate it, man.
All right, Nate, appreciate you. Krillo, you got 30.
Hey, so I did this trade, and just wanted to run it by you, see if you want to trade, but I traded Pollard, Godwin, and Amari Cooper, and I got A.J. Brown and David Montgomery.
Okay. So Pollard, Amari Cooper, Godwin for A.J. Brown, Monty. So the way I'm going to break this down is A.J. Brown's the best player in the deal by far. He beats Pollard out. He beats everybody. He's an absolute monster. Top 5, 6 overall pick if you were drafting right now for the remainder of the season. But the way I look at this is, okay, Pollard and Monty, I'd rather have Pollard, but at the same time, once he's back and he's on a bye week and then he's probably back, could he outscore Pollard? He certainly could. He could easily hang with them. I think Gibbs isn't changing, that he's still going to be 100 yards and a touch type of player, and there's enough room for that, clearly. You know, that offense did very well running multiple backs, and they're going to continue to do that, and that's what we want. We don't want Gibbs getting 25 carries a game. They're going to run that much. So AJB versus, like, if there's a world where this is even-ish, because Pollard isn't bouncing back, but I would buy him low. I want everyone to know I'd buy him low. But if there's a world where these guys are pretty even, that A.J. Brown compared to these two wide receivers, he crushes them. I think this side, the A.J. Brown Monty side, wins by quite a bit. But there's some intrigue here, but not at this price tag.
Yeah. So I did the trade because I drafted Kamara like round 8 or 9 and stashed them. And then I also had drafted Breece Hall pretty late.
Where'd you get?
Those two guys blew up.
Where'd you get those kinds of ideas? Those are awesome.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie. I just started watching you like a little into the season.
Oh, these were monsters of ours, bro. We were pushing Kamara content like nobody's business. You know, so congratulations. Yeah. Boom, boom.
And I was pushing back when you were really high on Brees Hall when Aaron Rodgers got hurt. I was one of the ones in the comments talking like
mad trash.
Like, crazy, yeah.
Yeah.
But
call me an idiot.
I came back and I told you like, nah, like that's my fault. Like you were right on Brees Hall.
Hey, appreciate you, bro fist.
But I also have King Henry as well.
Okay.
So
I mean,
I think I'm good, right?
Yeah, I'd say roll with it, bro.
And I'm about to get AJ Brown, so shit.
Roll with it, bro. Let it ride.
All right, Smitty.
All right.
Okay, you, Smitty.
Later, Krillo. See, we can be friends. Bill dropping a 2-watt and Mac dropping a 2-watt. Appreciate you guys dropping those. Let me put those on screen here. Let me read these super chats and we might throw a draft on the board here. We haven't drafted tonight. Guys, Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty. Underdog Fantasy will double your first deposit up to $500 if you use this link right here, which enters code Smitty for you. I'm going to pin the link. DW, thank you again for the gifted 50 memberships, bro. You're an absolute gem. Let me pin this message here. I pinned it right now. Underdog Fantasy. We're going to draft in just a few minutes here. Okay, let me get these super chats out of the way. Then we're going to draft on Underdog for week number 9. And we'll do the morning and afternoon slate of games contest, right? It's not going to include Thursday. Won't include Sunday night, I don't think either. And definitely won't include Monday. But that's the fun of it, okay? So we're going to hit these supers and then we're going to go over there. Travis, I hope I helped you. I don't know if I finished even answering the full question other than I would definitely consider Travis, I got to make it quick because I got to get these out of the way and go draft. So I got your super chat pulled up. Did you have a follow-up on this?
Yeah, just with Davante, you said any one of the tight ends. If I put in like JSN or Dotson, is that too much to add?
So Hawkinson and what was the other player? Refresh my memory.
They went either Dotson or JSN with Hawkinson for Davante Adams.
I don't think you're going to get that. I think you probably need to give up DK. I was saying DK but then you might want to get something back, but if you could, I would try that. I would say hey man, I'll give you Dotson and Hawkinson for Adams. Try that. If you pull that off, that's awesome. That's amazing.
All right. And the one other thing was, so is DK for Pacheco, is that too much? Am I giving up too much, or I'm a little stuck on that?
DK and Pacheco?
Yeah.
For Adams?
No. I would get Pacheco.
Oh.
Give up DK.
That's even. You need a running back. I could Smitty approve that. You need a receiver. I could Smitty approve that. Those are both pretty close.
Yeah, all right, because I'm stuck with a bye, so I'm kind of just maneuvering things.
Yeah.
So. All right, appreciate it, Smitty.
Yeah, and also look to maybe see if I know you'd be stuck with T Law this week, but T Law's got a bye. That makes it tough, but I would say wonder if Howell helps them. But you kind of need Howell this week, but. Maybe there's a Minshew on waivers or something. I'm just saying, if he needed a quarterback and you could throw Howell in with Hawkinson and get a Davante, it'd probably be worth it if you could weather through. And maybe Kyler starts last second or something. But I don't know, something to think about to mix in. All right.
You like JSN over Dotson?
Yeah, but it's arguable.
So I could use either one if I needed to get a trade over the top.
For sure, especially if you're keeping DK. All right, later, Travis. Thanks.
Okay.
Also have Devontae Smith says, Apex. Let me get to Apex's question. Thank you, Travis, for your super chat, by the way. Apex said this right here. Let's see here. Apex said, QB Herbert, running back Mixon, Jacobs, Gibbs, Garrett Wilson, Waddle, Higgins, Fergie, McBride. Suggesting any upgrades. Also have Devontae Smith. Close the phone lines, by the way, guys. So if anybody's trying to dial in at this point, the phone lines are closed. I got to get through these and then draft. Have Davante Smith. Okay, so 12-man team, PPR, QB Herbert, Mixon, Jacobs. That's tough, bro. Also have Davante Smith. Okay, so Davante Smith, Garrett Wilson, Waddle. I like that. I mean, Higgins is expendable. Dotson is expendable. One of the tight ends is expendable. I'm trying to upgrade Gibbs. And even though I do like Jacobs more now, I would upgrade. And you could even wait a week because I think Jacobs has a good day. I think they try and lean on Jacobs to help O'Connell out. And O'Connell likes to dump off to Jacobs a lot more. So you potentially could like trade Jacobs and Higgins, especially if Higgins has a good day. I think you wait a week. Unless you can trade Higgins and Mixon now for a JT, a Hall, an Achane. And those are all deals I would do. You kind of probably hold off, I think, at this point, and let Higgins and Jacobs do something so you can trade them. I think that would be good for you. Castillo, sorry from the last Super, AK or Eckler for playoffs. I would rather have Eckler, and I think the rest will help him. Bill, appreciate you. Bill says Elijah Mitchell or Jordan Madison equals CMC handcuff. Probably Mitchell for now, but I mean, that's what the team said. That's what Shanahan said, but injuries are a problem. So for now, it is Mitchell, but you almost need both of them. Chiefs defense have easier regular season and overall season. Eagles easier playoffs. Do you still prefer Eagles over per your chat with Balake? I still like the Eagles more, but that's me. It's preference, man. KC's been playing really tough. I think they've been playing tough, but I think the Eagles are they're playmakers to me, but it's very close. Big crit. Start DeMarcado, Doug, or Watson. I'm gonna go Christian Watson. Thoughts on Addison? I think Addison's a tough player to hold and trade. Just depends on, like I said, are you holding him? Do you feel like you could sell him? Are you selling him too low? What's the value? How much can you get? It's tough. I would say, but I'm starting Christian Watson. I know a lot of people are going to say I'm giving up on Christian Watson, but I watched the game with my eyeballs, and the guy would have had 140 yards and 2 touchdowns. It's not like I'm going to start him over other options, because at some point you got to stop apologizing and say it's not working. But I don't think those options make me keep him off the field. Lewis, appreciate your $5 holler. Smitty got an offer. Kamara and Howell for Pollard, Ayuk, and Dak. I have Breece Hall, Bijan, and T. Law. So you're trading Kamara away and Howell for Pollard, Ayuk, and Dak. Man, I would say, I guess, give me Pollard, Ayuk, and Dak. No, Howell and Kamara. I can't get rid of Kamara. He's playing too good. And this is a week where he could be like a top 1 to 3 running back. Kamara. It's tough, though. Ayuk's kind of tempting, but I don't think that pushes me over the edge. You probably have somebody very comparable to Ayuk on your team. You know what I mean? I have Addison, Christian Watson, and Debo. Hold or move. I don't know what this is referring to. You got to include it in the same message, Sizzle, because I don't have anything from the previous message. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. I have Addison, Christian Watson, and Debo. Hold or move. I don't know if that's a different question. That's just it right here. If I try and move K9 for a wide receiver, what wide receiver value am I looking at? I have Addison, Watson, and Debo. So Walker, I thought you said you had Davante Adams. Upgrading to Adams, okay. Have Chase. Have Chase. I don't see Chase up here though. I'm confused, Sizzle. You got me confused. I would say I'm going to target. I have Achane. Okay, K9. I would say Cooper Kupp, and if you go for a combo, you already have Debo. You can't get Debo. Like Waddle and you already have Achane. Waddle and like Swift or something if you're gonna go down to 2 players. But if you're not, Walker should get you a Lamb, a St. Brown. Even Devonta Smith's probably not enough. So you have to get an additional player. But I'd probably hold K9, bro. I don't think I'm trading K9. Not if I'm not getting a Lamb type player, which you definitely deserve to get in a trade. I would definitely offer for that. If you're going to go wide receiver, get Lamb or St. Brown or don't play ball. Start one at flex. Cooper, Swift, Gus Edwards. I'm going to go probably with Swift myself. Gus is tempting, though. He's been playing pretty well, bro. He's been banged up, but he's ready to go, I think. So Gus ain't bad, but I go Swift personally. What is the least I accept for Tua? I have Burrow, Waddle, maybe a Debo if you need a wide receiver and you can afford to wait. Swift. If we go to the buy low list, I would say Kyron, who's injured, Achane, obviously, Garrett Wilson, Devontae Smith, at Mike Evans, Bijan. Those are, Ridley and something maybe, but I don't even mind that. I know some people would say they hate Ridley, and that's okay. Your boy doesn't hate Ridley. I like Ridley, and people can trade Ridley to me. I'll take care of him. I'll put him away nice and snug on my bench or in my lineup. All right, let's hit the draft. Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty. Underdog will match. They'll double your first deposit up to $500. So get on over to Underdog Fantasy, promo code Smitty. Do it live. Let's put the screen up here. Let me see. Link is pinned in the live chat if you want to get on Underdog Fantasy, promo code Smitty. We're going to go to the drafts tab. I'll drop the link one more time in the chat. Here we go. Underdog Fantasy, promo code Smitty. Code Smitty or the link. The link's in the live chat. The link's in the description of every video. Code Smitty. They'll double your first deposit up to $500. Get in there. Do it live. We're gonna go over to Battle Royale week number 9. And click the green button now. There's a 10-second YouTube delay, maybe more, maybe 12. So I'm watching the live stream right here. Once I see the green button that I just showed here, and you guys have already hit you've already hit the green button. That delay, I'm going to hit it at the same time that I see it. And when I hit it, we all should be in the same draft, or a lot of us should be in the same draft. So boom, I'm hitting the button now. I hate when it does this. Okay. One more to start. We should all be in the same draft. One more to start. Jump in, jump in, jump in. Boom, full. Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty. Let's go. Let's go. I'm in the 4 spot. Kamara, AJ Brown, Hurts, Lamar, Barkley, JT. Who you going with? Who do you want? Jump into this draft, guys. Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty. They'll double your first deposit up to 500 bones by using code Smitty or the link that's pinned in the live chat. Do it live. Appreciate you all. Styles got in. Style got in. Draft starts in 8 seconds, baby. Oh, my back hurts. I got to work out tonight since I told you I was gonna stop doing the working out every time I got a $20 hauler on Halloween night. That was the last night I was gonna subject you guys to that nonsense, but it did get me in shape. I feel really, really good, but I need to drop the LBs. I need to work out and I need to run and jump rope and do burpees and cardio and drop some LBs. Kamara, AJ Brown, CeeDee Lamb. Now I'm on the clock. Jalen Hurts. It's a tough matchup, but Lamar, Seattle. JT, Barkley. I'm probably going to go, let's go Lamar. Let's go Lamar on this one. Let's just see how this goes. I don't take Lamar a lot, and I do like Hurts still, but Dallas is tough, but I still take Hurts. I think Hurts is pretty good. But Lamar could have a bigger day. How about saying Pollard for Adams and Pacheco? I'd take Adams and Pacheco over, definitely, Jalen Hurts. And then got back-to-back picks here, and then another pick from the Jalen Hurts owner. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Jonathan Taylor. All right, all right. Let's go. Let's go. Who are you gonna pick? Who are you gonna pick, football? We got Style in the 3 spot. We got Grandpa Dollars in the 2. All right, Bijan, okay. Bounce back day out of Bijan. I like it. These are the bounce back running backs football is rolling with. JT, Bijan, letting it ride. RB style. Okay, Davante Adams. Damn. I was really hoping to get Adams there. Okay, Cooper, Kupp, or Andrews. Let's go with the Lamar Andrews stack and do it live. How about it? How about we do it live? Tram says he's iFootball. Okay, nice, bro. Glad you got in it. Saquon, Cooper, Kupp and AJ Brown are paired together. Alvin Kamara owners on the clock with back-to-backs. What does he do? This is for week number 8. It's the week 9 battle royale. I wish it was week 8. I think we'd. You know what's crazy is even if this was week 8 and you knew what had happened, like you couldn't look anything up, but like it would still be hard to win. But that also is cool because anybody can pick. That's weird, you know, to say that. Like, oh my God, the odds are astronomical. Then, if even knowing who did well, trying to get the right combo off the top of my head, it's kind of cool though because anybody can win this. I mean, you could literally get auto drafted and it could be the winner. Like Jacobs, okay, Olave, Hawkinson, Devontae Smith, Swift, Pollard. I'm probably gonna go. Kind of go unorthodox here. I'm going to go Mike Evans here. So I got Lamar, Andrews, Mike Evans. I'm just expecting some big games out of those 3 guys, potentially. Hawkinson goes to the Hurts owner there. iFootball grabs Olave and Devonta Smith. MHG is on the clock again. Grabs DeAndre Swift. I'm on the clock here. You know, I'm going to go with our boy Walker. So my team so far is Lamar, Kenneth Walker, Mike Evans, Andrews. I'm doing it live. What's my favorite team other than my team? JT, Bijan, Olave, Smith. I like that one. Hurts, Adams, Hawkinson, Swift. I kind of like that one, but Dallas is a tough matchup. Lamar, Andrews, Mike Evans, Kenneth Walker. I still like my team probably the best, but that's not uncommon to like your own team the best. Lamb, Barkley, Jacobs, Goddard. Not bad. AJ Brown, Kupp, Dak, Fergie. Dallas ain't bad. Week, I guess. That last team, I liked it. I like it. Or the first team, I like it, but I don't know. I think my team's the best one here. Let's roll. BK is on the clock here. BK in the hizzy. BK's got no QB. Who you rolling with, BK? BK goes with McLaurin. I'm going to take, I think Puka is a steal here. I mean, granted, we might not have Stafford, but Jackson, Kenneth Walker, Mike Evans, Puka Nacua, and Mark Andrews. I kind of feel like I can almost guarantee I'm going to have the highest score. I think I'm going to roll with the highest score. Broskies. I'm going to do it live. At least projected. Not that it matters. Not that it does anything. Flowers. Okay. See what you're doing there. Traded my Jordan Love and DJ Moore for Chris Olave Laporta. I like that, Carrick. I think that's pretty good. Doing it live. I'm hungry. Somebody mentioned Whopper. Now, is there like a late night hot dog place open? I feel like a hot dog right now. Just cheddar cheese smothered all over it. I could do a dog right now. Hot dog right now. Hot dog, ketchup, pickles, bunch of cheese. All right, what do I do here? So here's where I probably I'll go McBride. Team is Walker, Lamar, Evans, Puka, Andrews, McBride. Wait a minute. Why did it narrow down? Did anybody see that it only let me take a tight end? Why did it make me take a tight end when I already had Andrews? It forced me to take a tight end. It narrowed down my options. Oh, no, it didn't. I just had it selected. I was like, why is it forcing me? So I'm like, I guess I got to take a tight end. That sucks. I jacked that up. Damn it. McBride still could do it. This could be a weird, crazy ticket. But, man, I can't believe I thought it, you know, when it narrows down and isolates it. I should have looked at my team. I should have looked at my damn team. That's what did me in. Look at those scores, though. They're all like dead even, except for the top one slightly ahead. All right, get into this one. Click the Battle Royale. Click that green button. When I see it on the live stream, show the green button. I'm going to get in. That sucks. I thought I had to take a tight end. I didn't even look. I was just mindlessly going through it, right? Oh, I guess I have my last position. I forgot I took Andrews in that draft. Son of a B. Watch it win because of that, though. All right, one more. Hot Dog Fun Smitty says Terry Roberts dropping a 5 wad. Thank you, Terry. I'm gonna look one up. I need a hot dog right now, bro. Let's see if is Ted's Hot Dogs open right now. Ted's Hot Dogs. Come on, Ted's, be open. Be open. You son of a B. 10. They open at 10 a.m. 10 p.m. Man, Arizona sucks. Hold on. We really do suck. Nothing's open. It's freaking 11:40. No hot dog place is open. You gotta be kidding me. I'm in the 2 spot here. Let's do it live. Let me look up hot dog places. Hot dogs near me. Nothing's gonna be open, bro. Nothing. Jack in the Box. No delivery. Closing soon. Where is this place at? Closes at 12 a.m. Oh, I got no time to get there. Where is that place? Oh, it's a hot dog stand. Closing soon. Hot dogs. I can't get to these places. They're way too far. They keep listing Jack in the Box. Wendy's. Camaro went. I'm going to take AJB, baby. AJB. Let's do it live. Damn, I want a hot dog bad. I guess there's actually a little diner that I could go to that's 24 hours. Klondike says careful with the search. Well, I'm typing in hot dogs near me. I don't know if that's that crazy, bro, to search. DoorDash. I could look at DoorDash. Man. Mario says Sonoran hot dog trucks in Phoenix. I think that's the one I found, but it closes in 15 minutes. Let me go back and look at that again. Hot dogs near me. Sonoran. Nogales. I can't drive to Nogales. Hey, Zips closes at... It keeps showing Jack in the Box. Does Jack in the Box really have hot dogs? Five Guys. They're closed. Everything's closed. I can't stand Arizona, man. Just... Everything closes so early here. There's no downtown life. There's no nothing. All right, back to the board here. I guess I could. Miss Mitty's got the Uber Eats on her phone. I let her do it all. I'll just text her, be like, I'll be sitting here, and I'll be like, "Can you order me something on your phone?" So I have to like unplug her phone, go onto the app, hot dogs. She get all text messages. You have ordered 3 hot dogs with extra cheese. On the clock, Bijan. Let's go Bijan. Bijan, AJ Brown, doing it live. I hate waiting on a QB though with this slate of games because there's not a lot left. You know, if you don't grab one of the early like Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson's, and then quite honestly, maybe you have a person that you pick at the QB position that ends up balling out. And like that's how you win it. Like Howell last week, people that owned Howell, that might have been the way you win. So like right now, Dak, Carr, Howell. Part of me's tempted. Like, what if you take Kyler and you gamble on that? Let's go. Pollard bounce back here. So we've got Bijan, Pollard, AJ Brown. Crazy, all the dog places closed at maybe downtown Tempe, where all the the college kids are. Their restaurants are open a little later there. Hot dogs, Tempe. Closing soon. Midnight. Wiener Schnitzel. Rallies. They have hot dogs at Rallies. Rallies has good burgers though. Sonic is closed. I don't want a Sonic hot dog anyway. Jimmy's hot dogs. No thanks. Jack in the Box. Again, they keep showing up. In-N-Out. They don't have hot. Man, I wish In-N-Out had hot dogs. You know what? That's what they should do. How hard is it to add that to the menu? I know In-N-Out likes to be all simple and everything, but why can't you add a dog? Why can't you add a dog to the menu? That's all we need. Just add that to the menu, or a chicken sandwich, one of the two. You got to just keep it so simple. How hard is it to cook a hot dog? Puka Nakua. I could go to the gas station. They do have them sitting there on the rollers, bro. They've been there for like 1 hour and 18 minutes. beyond the one marked line. Just rolling. I could just go to In-N-Out and get a burger. In-N-Out dogs to the moon. Manny, they don't have them where you are, right? Because they don't have hot dogs here. I'm just curious. Sam Howell. I guess I'll go Sam Howell. So I got Howell, Bijan, Pollard, AJ Brown, Puka. I don't like this team as much as the other one. Sick Nasty says the ones here do? Really? Let me see. I could call them. Let's call them. Hot dogs, animal style. That sounds so good, bro. I don't think they have them here. I could call around. After my pick, I'll call. We'll do some dialing. Same old In-N-Out menu in San Diego. Man, animal style dog sounds so good right now, bro. I wonder if I could get animal style like sides and then go to the I don't think the stores aren't even open. I can't even get a thing of hot dogs at the store right now. But man, animal style hot dog sounds so good, bro. Why don't they do that? McBride. So how? Yeah, this team's okay. I don't like my team this time around. All right, guys, hit that Underdog Fantasy link. Promo code Smitty. Do it live. 71. Oh, iFootball, you got the highest ranked team. Let's see your team. Hurts, JT, Swift, Davante, Olave, Pitts. Good job. Nice job. Good squad. Okay, let's Underdog Fantasy. Hit that link that's pinned in the live chat. Link is in the description of every video, and code Smitty does the same thing. Let's call In-N-Out, I guess. In-N-Out, let's see here.
Thank you for calling In-N-Out Burgers customer service.
Oh,
Recorded for training purposes. Please hold for the next available representative.
Maybe they can tell us.
Thank you for calling In-N-Out Burger.
Yeah,
Stephanie, how can I help you?
yeah. Do you guys serve? Is this the In-N-Out in Phoenix?
This is the customer service.
Oh.
Everything all across our store. I can still help you out if you like.
Yeah. Can you tell me which, if there are any, Arizona In-N-Out locations that serve hot dogs? I know some of them do.
No, I'm sorry. Actually, none of our locations at all with In-N-Out serve hot dogs.
I mean, I was told that some of them do. Maybe they were lying to me.
I'm so sorry.
You think I was getting trolled?
That's definitely a possibility, but I'm
That's wrong.
sorry. Yeah, no.
That's wrong. That's just wrong. Can you imagine, bro? I want you to just picture something real quick. Close your eyes. Animal style hot dog. What in the hell are we? What in the hell are we doing? Do you got one of those comment? You got one of those comment boxes?
You know what? I'll put in a suggestion, okay?
You promise?
I promise. I'll do it right now. I'll do it with you on the line. Give me 1 second. So I can just type
Yeah.
it up, okay?
Do it live. Yeah.
Do it live. Okay. Okay.
I mean-
Animal style hot dog.
I mean, why wouldn't? I mean, how hard is it to add hot dog to the menu? I know you guys like to keep it simple, but I mean, you add a hot dog to. I mean, goodness gracious, man.
No, I can't. Honestly, I can't really deny what you're throwing, but I know with In-N-Out we keep it. We've been keeping it the way we've been doing it since 1948. So just burgers, fries, and drinks.
Progression, my friend. AI is coming for you anyway. You might as well try and get ahead of AI. They start creating hot dogs with animal style toppings. You're done. So get ahead of the curve. Appreciate you for doing that, pal.
Yeah.
All right, later.
Of course. Have a good night.
Later. I don't know if I was getting trolled in here, but this is customer service, broski, and he said that they don't have animal style hot dogs or hot dogs period at any In-N-Out. So somebody's trolling me. Yeah, if they get animal style hot dogs, we did it. We did it, and we did it live. Week 9. Week 9 we made that happen. I bet that dude did close his eyes, pictured it. All right, close your eyes. Breathe in. Breathing exercise. Animal style hot dogs. How does that make you feel? All right. That was 100 out of 10 customer service for sure. I should have asked him, how do I talk to his boss? Sick Nasty says, you all call in animal style in AZ here. We call it gorilla style. But Sick Nasty, are you sure you've had hot? Are you the one that said that there's animal style hot dogs, or there's hot dogs that you're In-N-Out? That's crazy, man. All right, I'm coming for you guys tomorrow. Appreciate you, and I'll see you all later. I think I got one super chat pending here. I'm sorry. Terry Roberts says Pollard is available in the small league. Wow, let's go. Available in your, like he got cut in your grandma league. That's awesome. Go get him, Terry. Full load drop, Terry. Tony Pollard's out there, sitting there, waiting for you to grab him. Do a full load drop, broski. Do it live.
Initiate full load drop.
Thank you. I'll see you all tomorrow. Live whenever news breaks. Appreciate you all. Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, every Monday through Friday, live whenever big news breaks and graveyard shifts and all that included. Peace out. Appreciate you.